himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Newhoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the round pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
it. Medeiros is going to get it. Medeiros is going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line, though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now, though, for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to another round of the Game of Gear Direct GT3 Endurance Championship. The Premier Endurance League sets off for round number 2. And it's going to be 2 hours of exciting racing action from the fast and flowing MotorLand Aragón. Rain has made its debut on iRacing, and we might have been feeling a little something in the air tonight, but forecasts 0% chance of rain. It's going to be a green flag race, well, potentially green flag race right the way through, but there's not going to be any rain interruptions. Thoughts of wet tyres out the window. Not necessarily going to happen as it stands, JP, and we're denied cruelly at our first opportunity to see how these guys tackle the rainy outcomes of iRacing.
Yeah, a little bit upset. You know what I mean? I thought a nice little rain race at Aragon would have gone down well, but unfortunately not. To be fair, it's bringing mixed reviews. I think that's the thing with it at the moment. People are, people are loving it, right? And so they should. It's been absolutely amazing. I've test driven it quite a few times, and it's very interesting. I did a Le Mans race at a GTP and LMP2, and by turn 1 out of the 8 GTPs, there was only 1 survived, and that was by literally lap 1 before we even got onto the Mulsanne straight at Le Mans. So I think there's still some practice that people need to get right, because they're still not getting it right in the rain. They're still driving as if it's dry tyres, should we say?
Well, I can tell you already. I've had messages come my way from Jimmy Middleton. I can tell you he's got a message on the rear bumper of his car again. It's not for you tonight, though, JP. The message on the rear bumper of his car is for me. So we'll catch that one, I'm sure, when we jump through to the race at some point. But yeah, like you said, important point to note, there's no rain on the horizons. And Jimmy Middleton wants us to know that he can't concentrate properly and drive normal because he's infuriated that there's no bleeping rain.
Well,
his words.
the thing is, isn't he the one in control of the sessions? So technically,
I think wisely, Ricky's in charge of those, I think.
Because at the end of the day, if it isn't, I'm sure I thought it was him, but whoever's in charge of the rain, well, then that's on you, I'm afraid, dear sir. That's got nothing to do with me and you, has it, really? We're just Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, up in the booth.
I can tell you, it's based actually on real-world weather from Aragon today. The server initial setup did actually say it was for scattered showers, although I think I'll have a quick look through everything I've got available to me at this point in time. I can tell you that we are going to be in the latter stages of the race. There was 30% cloud cover, but there is absolutely 0% chance of precipitation. We're going to be getting increasing cloud cover as the rain goes on, as the race goes on. We'll start about sort of 32%, slight dip to 31% inside the first half an hour, and then from there it's up to about 40% in terms of cloud cover only. Precipitation, 0% chance. And yeah, so I'm curious. I'm gonna weather. What's today's date forecast? Yeah, let's choose. I'm going to do a quick Aragon weather forecast and a little bit of a Google. Precipitation for the evening. Yeah, that about matches it up, actually. So 20-25% chance of rain. And remember that iRacing does take, a few different things and then randomizes it a little bit, so it's not locked in as well. Which, how often have you known a weather report to be incorrect, Jimmy?
I don't know, probably around about 1986 when Michael Fish told us it was going to be a light storm, and then we ended up with a hurricane. Just one of the things. But yeah, it is a shame, and I would have loved to have seen, rain, and some action with it and seeing how it works, and probably testing the fact of how my PC's going to handle it. Let's be real about it. But at the end of the day, it's just not going to happen, and I'm slightly upset. So there we go.
One of the things I will actually note about the rain itself is that the track, whenever you see it, so this is going forward, it's damper than it looks. And it takes a very, very long time to transition back off the wets onto the dries. So it needs to be nearly bone dry, and you need to have a very, very clear dry line that is bone dry before you can transition off of the wet tires. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. Unfortunately for the fans who've been watching along for a little bit of time, what that does mean for us is that the rain update was only applied to all of the IMSA-related GT3s, and what that means for us as a series is moving forward, the McLaren and the Ford have been knocked from contention because neither of those cars had rain tyre compatibility. The league wanted to take the decision to move forward and make that a possibility, and so that means that those two cars are no longer available. So the Ford bounty for winning a race was never claimed.
Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Oh, let's have a look, Jim. Do a rain dance for me, Scotty.
I'm dancing. It's not helping, but I'm dancing.
No, it's not. Trenton in YouTube chat, excited. Stewie Shaw looking fast tonight, I feel. So there we go.
Well, he did. He's extremely quick. There's a few points of note actually coming out of qualifying, JP. One of them is obviously Stuart Shaw actually did take pole position. I was just having a quick chat to Richard Mayer, who's the owner of Sud Speed. So he's got those cracking sim racing gloves on. Said grip pack gloves, and he was saying, yep, feeling good for tonight. Oh, Stewie Shaw's just gone faster than me. So Stewie Shaw put in a good lap late on. The other key factor is Owen Coleman only good enough for 4th at the tail end of things. The reason why? His only valid lap time in qualifying settings was his first lap. So his tyre weren't quite up to speed. So, so for Owen Coleman, it was about just getting a clean lap in, and he probably would have been, 1-2 spots further up the grid. Didn't manage to do so. How's that going to affect him? Well, potentially. We're going to see him have to overtake a few cars. I'm not going to complain about that, JP.
No, I'm not going to complain either. Anything with Owen Coleman overtaking people, well, that would be absolutely amazing, to be fair. And I think it's all part of the challenges, isn't it? We would have loved to have seen these guys hurtling around, right? And rain spray everywhere. I don't know if anybody's raced in it. If you haven't,
it's blinding. It's ridiculous.
Literally blinding, right? And we knew that was going to come. We knew there was going to be people who was going to be like, no, don't like it, can't see nothing, can't do this, can't do that. And at the end of the day, you're probably the same people that asked for it for the last 5 years, if not longer. So I'm sorry, you don't come at me and complain about it. It's a kind of a suck it up scenario. You wanted it, they gave it to you. What you got to remember is they're testing the worst conditions first. They're not testing the best conditions. They are testing the worst conditions. And the worst conditions is spray in your face, can't see anything.
Changeable conditions I'm really excited for, because that's going to take a specific skill set. The line here changes dramatic. It's ridiculous, the difference. It's night and day. We did actually do a couple of test sessions. I set up. I wanted to throw everything I possibly could at these guys. So on Thursday night I said, yep, finally got some time free. I can actually sit down and get in the sim. We hosted a heavy rain overcast session. So it was just constantly changing between heavy rain and overcast. I tell you, it just, you never got off the drain tires. It never got dry enough. So, and the heavy rain conditions, oh boy, lap times were about 25 to 30 seconds slower a lap. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really, really interesting.
It is exciting. And it's a different makeup that people have got to contend with. And some people can, some people can't. And clearly, there's a lot of people that can't. When you go into a multi-class and only one of the faster class finishes, and the leading Dilara was doing 9 seconds faster than the leading GTP, mind you.
But that was day one of the patch, JP. That was patched immediately, as far as I was aware.
Well, let's hope. But,
so that was day one.
That was day one. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, time to get into our qualifying results. Qualifying, like we said, has been run and won. Stuart Shaw managed to grab pole position this time out. 156.498, what they were all chasing, and it was only one that could get within about a tenth and a half in terms of that one's Desmond Harbinger, who will line up alongside of him. Richard Mayer and Owen Coleman will be on row number 2. Keep your eyes on the red Porsche on the outside of row number 2. Ben Woods and Trent Allen are going to make up row number 3. Andrew Dutch and Ricky Provenzale qualifiers inside the top 10. Ricky's starting to take the stance of, I'm going to have to do the qualifying runs, and be interesting to see how he runs through the race. His race pace has been particularly good. Ben Jeffrey and Aaron Raccanello are going to make up the top 10 before we'll throw it just outside, and it's going to be Adam Jepson and Chris Pellet who make up the first row outside the top 10. Phenomenal qualifying performance for Chris Pellet, looks to be on the improve. Brad Cat-Eye and Adrian Grech. Dear God, I hope Adrian Grech's fuel calculator works this week. One of the things we're actually discussing, we'll talk about in a little bit. Mark Foster and Alfonso Latella. Fozzie was one of those drivers that was actually reasonably quick in the wet conditions. His Porsche qualifies 15th, off alongside of Latella. Chris Ruddle and Martin Hallen are going to be 17th and 18th on that 9th row of the grid. The 10th row of the grid, and your top 20 is going to be rounded out by Eli Donaldson and Ray Oliver on the outside of the 20. Moving over to 21st and 22nd is going to be Nick Bottrell and Dean Hunt. Dean Hunt, remember, won your Challenger class last time out and was the season champion. Darren Burgess and Benjamin Brook are going to be row number 12. Matthew Kidd and Rain Campbell, Rain making, I believe, his debut in the GT3 class, qualifies all the way down in 26. Matt Gerard, James Selhani going to be off of 27th, 28th. Sean Benici and Jimmy Middleton, 29th and 30th. Rob Edwards, Brent Sucker, Andrew Proctor and Jesse McMenamin outside your 30. Stephen Mellis, Leith McClimate, a very, very long way down for Leith McClimate. It wasn't a good qualifying performance from him at all, so he's going to be deep in the pack, indeed, right down off the back couple rows. And Rue Koistra, unfortunately, it looks like not making the start of this one, which is a shame. He thoroughly enjoys this series. It's one of the few times he actually gets to go racing, and sometimes work gets in the way. Well, it looks like work may have gotten in the way.
Yeah, but IRL, isn't it? You can't do a lot about it. It is what it is. So IRL first, always. Unless you're making a living out of this, of course. But if you're not making a living, always real life first.
Righto, ladies and gents. Warm-up lap at this point in time, and for those eagle-eyed among the fans watching along at home at the moment, might notice some side bundles on the outside of the track. A little bit of a change came through this week. Jimmy and Ricky weren't actually aware that there was a TCR layout at this circuit. The difference between the TCR and GP variants is tyre bundles. That's it. That's the only difference. So the tyre bundles on the outside of the track, those are going to be in play. And the reason they've added them in, that was a last-minute change today, was wanted to keep the drivers sort of in play and understanding where the track boundaries were. They make a really, really good judgment in terms of where the external track limits are and what you can and what you can't push. You go outside those tyre bundles, you get a slowdown penalty, is basically the easiest way to put that one, JP.
Yeah, I think they've got to be careful here in general. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to make sure that they stay within the limits. You've got limits there for a reason, right? They're not there just to top you up and say, hey, you can go around me. They are there for a reason. So these guys are going to have to make sure that they use the limits where possible and run as close as they possibly can, Scotty. I'm not entirely sure what more that we can add on that one, I think.
Well, I can tell you, those tyre bundles as well, they're sort of semi-locked in place, but they're not. They do actually move. After a little bit, they will reset. So think of them like a heavy cone is effectively the best way to sort of mentally think about them. Right, in the back half of the circuit, 2 hours of racing action about to come your way on behalf of Gamer Gear Direct. Sim racing experts, or sorry, the simulator experts even from Gamer Gear Direct. And Premier Endurance League brings you all the action from 2024 Split 1 of your 2-hour Endurance Fest in the GT3 cars. Today, not the day for rain. Today may be the day for Stuart Shaw, for Desmond Harbinger, for Richard Mayer to maybe put one step in front of Owen Coleman, around the hairpin for the final time on the pacing lap. All the practice is now in the books. It now comes down to this. 2 hours of racing action. No more questions. No more time for adjustments. No more time to change things up. Pace car makes its way into pit lane. We're going to be green here in a few moments' time. Keep your eyes on our race leader. It's going to be a launch, and we're off and racing for Stuart Shaw as he gets a reasonable launch, gets down the inside. Too wide most of the way back. Harbinger got a really good getaway as well. Who's going to be good on cold tyres here? Mayer gets down the inside of Coleman, but Coleman managed to go around the outside at turn number 1. How do they settle themselves into row number 2? It would be Trent Allen and Ben Woods who are going to go side by side. Dutch has managed to make his way a little bit further forwards, and Provenzali's going to try and settle in and attach himself to the rear bumper, but a reasonable getaway up and down the field. There's still going to be too wide at the tail end. Somebody, I think, went around at the tail end of the pack at turn 1. Jimmy Middleton started from the pit lane. So did Ray Oliver. Both of those drivers look like they've missed the start of this race, but could that mean a couple extra litres worth of fuel on board for those guys? Could that mean the strategy might play their way as well? And she's a wide track here tonight, JP. I get the feeling safety car percentages is going to be quite minimal here tonight.
Yeah, I think so as well, but there has been a lot going on right at the moment. I've got like a lot of people that have apparently had incidents, so maybe it's getting a little bit excited because I don't think everybody can have that amount of incidents already, mind you, as we're on the first lap. And there isn't anybody really spread out as much as what is being perceived here. But a great start from Stuart Shaw, Des Harbinger and Owen Coleman in third place there, Richard Meyer up fourth. So great action so far as they're coming off now down that long straightaway into the hairpin.
Yeah, well, I can tell you at the moment, I just watched Rain Campbell just about smoke one of the tyre bundles on lap number 1. It was on the kink coming down to the back straight as well. So that'll be something that he'll be certainly aware of at this point in time. Time to settle themselves down into things. And like we said, Coleman got a reasonable getaway out in front. Oh, around! Around goes Stuart Shaw, and it was contact with, I think, Desmond Harbinger. Harbinger got a sidestep, which means Owen Coleman is leading the way. Boy, that didn't take long.
No, it definitely didn't. They ended up coming together, didn't they? And that's the problem there. Just going to try and find, if I can find where that just actually happened. And unfortunately for them guys, it's a tough racing, isn't it? Racing is racing here, Scotty, and it's very hard for these guys to be battling out as they are. Just going to try and have a look back here to make sure we can find where it actually is and went on.
I'll tell you what, straight away, Desmond Harbinger, even though he's going to get a penalty for it, and I think he knows he's going to get a penalty for it, he has still slowed down to redress it, and that's what it's all about. It's not about, you know, what's the best thing to do. Sometimes the best thing to do is let race control hand him out. Doesn't care. He's still going to make sure that he redresses it. Does not want that to be taken the wrong way. It's about the spirit of racing, and, well, Harbinger's done the right thing by the spirit of racing right there, JP.
Yeah, he definitely has. At the end of the day, they are racing, but they're not racing for anything particular, are they? They're racing for a little bit of fun, and they want to make sure that they're doing it fairly. And if that is right and if that is fair, then so be it on that one, Scotty. And I think great racing. Coleman's lucked in a little bit here with Darren Burgess and Nick Bottrell scrapping it out further down. Ben Woods and Richard Meyer, of course, having a fight as well. So great action all the way through the field.
Finally stopped tumbling. Now we'll keep our eyes on this little battle because this is going to be an interesting one to keep half an eye on. Dean Hunt sits in the background of this one, but it's going to be the two Audis of Bottrell and Burgess going toe-to-toe. In the meantime, the Dean Hunt Porsche watches on. There's the orange SLM liveried car of Burgess. There was an opportunity there on Nick Bottrell. Now Bottrell's trying to settle himself in and look long-term. I believe this is going to be our Challenger class leaders as well. Yeah. No, it's actually been Fozzie. No, sorry, Kadai. Kadai leads the way in terms of Challenger. My apologies.
Yeah, Brooke Kadai up front there leading the way in the Challenger class. You can see Bottrell there as well. Dean Hunt is in the Challenger class as currently. So Ben Woods and Trent Allen with Andrew Dutch are scrapping it out for third, fourth and fifth.
In the meantime, Coleman's got control and looks to have cleared that toe. So at this point sits over 1 second in the lead. Ben Woods has managed to go with Richard Mayer. I believe it was actually Richard Mayer that was one of the guys that triggered off that bet between yourself and Pete. Pete obviously not in... Pete Baxter not in attendance with us here tonight. I believe he's off adventuring somewhere. So he'll be doing so. But Ben Woods in the meantime looking to try and hunt back down. As we keep half an eye on him. Trent Allen right there and right in contention as well.
Yeah, he's not letting up, is
This is going to be an interesting one. Tyres are certainly going to come into things.
Well, they've got 2 hours, haven't they? They've got 2 hours, Scotty, right? So we've got an hour and 54, so they are going to need it. If you were running for 45 minutes or an hour race, you probably would really think about tyres, but you're not. You're running for 2, and you've got to think about them. You can't run 2 hours on tyres. It'll be like Bambi on ice by the end of it.
Well, they can in real life, of course. Cars will certainly take it, but in terms of the sim, the design, the cars, the setup approach that everyone takes, and the setup philosophy as to how you lean on the tyres is designed around those 1 hour stints generally, by and large. And most people here will be running a non-tweaked setup, which means they'll be focused in on that hour time window. Something in the back of your mind, take tyres at some point, and if you take them at the first pit stop because you get a safety car and that pops you out in a reasonable little bit of a spot, then you know, you might be hurting late on in the race. As Ken tell you, a couple of race control decisions have now been handed out, JP, and Harbinger and Stuart Shaw. That has resulted in a 10-second post-race penalty for Harbinger, which will adjust that one. Punishment fits the crime. You know, it wasn't intentional. It nearly looked like Stuart Shaw had a lot of problems getting back to the gas, but either way, contact was made front to rear, and pretty simple for race control to hand that one out.
Yeah, I think when it's as obvious, they're able to make sure that they can get it done, right? And that's the thing. They've got to be there, and if it's obvious, they're going to jump on it, get it done, and move on. But it's always going to be tough for these guys in general when you're racing as close as they were. Unfortunately, my timing software has gone a little bit crazy, so currently I can't find actually where it happened, but which is a little bit annoying. But Alan, Dutch, Provençali, Jeffrey, and Jepson, your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th battle, and then you've got Kadai, Foster there, and Hunt, who is also in the Challenger class as well.
Right, Kadai's just chilling in a really nice little zone off on his own. Sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world to just sort of lose the pack ahead of you just a touch in the early stages of the battle. You know, it allows you to just sort of settle in, find your rhythm. And I mean, he's got a really big pocket of air in and around him as we're watching sort of the battle pack that's just up ahead of him at the moment. But sort of 2.5 seconds down the road to that pack that we were looking at, 2.5 seconds in the rearview mirror. Sets himself up in a reasonably interesting little spot. Dean Hunt's the battle that we're watching at the moment. Him and Darren Burgess. And I believe Nick Bottrell was a part of this battle pack a little while ago, but Bottrell's now dropped out of this one and sits in behind Chris Ruddle, who's the next car in behind these guys, as Hunt's starting to get really, really close. Indeed, he's going to pull out on the run down to the hairpin, gets to the inside for the driver of the 47 from Frog Leap Juice Racing. It's Frog Leap versus SLM, and there's history between these teams, I tell you. Because there's one driver that used to drive, and I think Burgess as well actually might have even been an ex-Frog Leap Juice Racing driver. But Ray Oliver used to drive for the Frog Leap Juice Racing outfit. No longer does. So there is a little bit of history between these teams. Not majorly beef-heavy, though. It's just one of those ones where drivers decided to go their separate ways, but it's worth noting and worth keeping in the back of your mind.
Are they more, though, just combatants on the racetrack, Scotty, rather than actual full-on, you know, major battle? Are we just looking at that they're just team battles? Don't think they're sort of, you know, full-on Vikings versus the Romans or anything like that.
No, give them a sword and a shield. Give them an axe. Give them an axe. Let's go at it. Forget this car racing stuff.
Who needs car racing? Who needs it? Where are you?
That's not the reason we're here.
No, we don't want cars. We want gladiators. That would be interesting. However, I'm not going to lie. But I think though, at the end of the day, there's always going to be beef when you've got teams that are battling out so closely, and you're going to end up getting team rivalry. Look at Ferrari and Mercedes and McLaren and all the others. They're always going to battle, and I think it's just one of them things of racing, isn't it, that they've got to try and contend with.
Well, it's one of the things I've been putting a little bit of research into some of the Australian outfits and who likes and who doesn't like who. You know, it just adds a little bit of extra flavour sometimes. And this one certainly wasn't on my radar, but I tell you what. Question about the bollards coming through. They're not actually bollards. They are indeed tyre barriers, and they are physically there. They are movable, but they are certainly possible to make contact with. And as we continue to watch this battle between Hunt and Burgess, is still settling down. And I heard someone just clout one of the sausage curbs in the background. It might have been Nick Bottrell, because he did not have a good run through that hairpin that time by. So, but yes, no, the tyre barriers, tyre bundles on the outside of the course, absolutely collision physics enabled. And indeed, the bundles can bounce down the road as well. So consider them just a large, bulky cone, was what we were saying about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, definitely. Richard Meyer sitting in second at the moment, 2.4 seconds over the twitchy foot of Ben Woods. Then comes Andrew Dutch, Trent Ellen, Ricky Provenzali, Ben Jeffrey, Andrew Jepson is in there, all leading a group of cars once more. Dean Hunt and Darren Burgess are running side by side as well. Mark Foster and Dean Hunt there, and with Darren Burgess behind him. So Darren Burgess trying to get past Dean Hunt, not making it through at the moment.
Right, so it's going to be time to sort of settle on. It's really interesting, actually, keeping half an eye on. Matthew Kidd sort of leads a reasonable battle pack. Oh, he's broken away a little bit at the front of it now at the moment, but James Salhani as Rain Campbell in behind him. Now, in terms of things at the moment, Salhani's up 9 spots since the initial start. I think he might actually be our highest mover. No, tell you what, it'll be Leith McClimate, who's up 11 spots at the moment, who's got the most positions gained as Stuart Shaw goes down the inside of him. At this point in time, I can tell you, so Shaw's picked up another spot. And update on Rue Koistra, can confirm unwell. Thanks, Cher, for the update. Much appreciated.
Oh, poor Rue. Get well soon, Rue. I hope you feel better, dear sir. But we'll keep it up.
Well, it clearly wasn't the motorsport bug, JP. Because otherwise it'd be...
You would have manned up, wouldn't you? You know, you would have sucked it up and taken some tablets, and away we go. As Eli Donaldson here in the BMW, going around turn 16 on the run through 17. Oh!
That's all kicked off, and then just in behind them is another battle pack. There's a huge pack on its way coming through. Gerard, I think it was, trying to rejoin at that point in time, has rejoined, and Eli Donaldson now going to get back onto the road as well. So beef already beginning, and Harbinger, by the way, just got held up by Leith McClimate. And Leith McClimate, I think one of his teammates is actually Stuart Shaw, because he let Shaw through really, really simply. And now Harbinger's going to collide with the sausage curb at turn 1. No, sorry, my apologies, Matty Gerard. Now he's going to be up alongside Racanello. Racanello to the outside as they head down through turn number 3, still too wide, gets the inside at 4, and then the sharp corner down here, hard on the anchors, see if he can get down the inside, job done. All from Matty Gerard, clouding a turtle at turn 1. Job done there though for Racanello, not an easy one, still found his way through.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. No overtakes easy. It was one thing catching, one thing passing, we know that. And we've been told that multiple times in racing itself. Martin Halloran, Ben Brook, Stu Shaw, Eli Donaldson, and Leith McClimate here again battling it out. So Ben Brook doing a stellar job with Shaw and Donaldson behind him.
And a few mistakes coming in nice and early. This one's still not over too. As around the outside, so Shaw's still trying to progress back up through the field. And it's going to be Donaldson that he continues to go toe-to-toe with, still back down the inside. So the pole sitter finally gets back through here, back to 22nd. It's been a recovery effort, and he started thus far. And now keep your eyes in behind as well, because it's going to be Benjamin Brook and Harbinger down the back straight away. And Harbinger as well on the recovery effort. And don't forget the Porsche of Leith McClimate still looking for things as well. Still side by side. There's nothing in it for these guys. They must be running nearly identical downforce settings. To the outside goes Harbinger. It'll open up and get himself the inside if he can get the drive off of this corner. Still down there, still on the inside. Finally gets the job done. Not an easy one at MotorLand Aragón. Well, that looks like the standard that we're going to see for racing at this point in time. And boy, is it exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is. But that is a different class fixture, isn't it, really, Brooke? And Harbinger, it's elite and challengers, so no real reason for Brook to even give it a fight if he didn't want to. Leith McClimate trying to make his way through. He's got Racanelli taking onto the grass, turning that Ferrari into a lawnmower as they go up through turn 4s and 5. And Racanello there trying to make his way onto the back of Gerard. Tough fight, tough racing
That's
so far.
Gerard's just gone sailing down through on Leith McClimate. Didn't quite get it pulled up, and a Porsche goes around in the background of that one as well. That's going to be Stefan Mellis.
Yeah,
unfortunately, facing the wrong direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tough for him, but that's racing, isn't it? And I like to point out he's in a Porsche. Just saying, putting that out there. With Andrew Grech and Chris Pallett battling it out here.
Oh boy, everywhere you look, there's something going on, isn't there? Oh, there's another BMW around. It's Ray Oliver as well has gone around.
Was he assisted? It was on his own though. That's the thing. It looks like he's taking a dive up the inside. Hard on the brakes, over the sausage curb, and unfortunately for Ray, into the wall. So yeah, not a great move to go.
Was a call from race control, and I don't know whether it was about that one from Ray Oliver or whether it was about something previous, but it looks like that was sort of the first opportunity for Ray to call anything in, and yeah, I think he's only got himself to blame, unfortunately.
Yeah, how are you not having yourself to blame on that one? How can you sit back and go, oh, it's somebody else? No, dude, you've got it all peaked on. That's it. You're going to have to try and go back and try and do it again and try and succeed once more. And if you don't, well, you better crack on and try and do something else then. Because Grech and Pellet are still doing exactly that thing in 10th and 9th place of the elites currently. So great job from them.
Yeah, that battle will continue on because this is for the last spot inside the top 10 too. So always worth talking about. In the meantime, that Kadai's just doing brilliantly. I'm enjoying this drive from Brock Kadai. And the other thing is, consider as well, we were talking a couple laps ago about how he's just sort of in this world of his own. It's gotten better for him because I can tell you, he's now got 2.5 seconds up the road to the cars in front of him, 6 seconds out the rear view mirror. So he's sitting in a really, really good pocket. And the other thing is, yeah, can't take our eyes off this, but it's going to be one of those nights, I think, JP, where we're just going to get treated to some real delights in terms of racing.
Yeah, I think with the amount of battles that are happening, like if we go all the way down here, we've still got Stu Shaw battling with Matt Kidd and Rain Campbell. They're behind them. So there's going to be action all the way through. We'll try and catch as much as we possibly can. But there was quite a lot.
Did Fozzie just go around? It was Alfonso Latella actually just shot around, so that was an interesting one. I think that was on his own too.
Yeah, Latella there in the Ferrari. Did he hit the curb? That's going to be the question. Ooh. Too much.
It's gone before the curb.
So there we go.
So I wonder whether or not there's been some things with that car, JP, whether or not he's sacrificed a little bit of stability to get himself some more turn in.
Possibly. But you've got to wonder whether or not that's always been the right idea. What do you need at this circuit, Scotty? You need a balance. You need one and the other. You can't take one prioritizing. You need to be able to balance it out. And if you've not got it balanced, you end up doing random things like that. So they've got to make sure that it is all balanced here on their setups in general, because rear wing, great, gives you control, but it slows you down. You know, less rear wing, you've got no stability, but you go faster. What do you play with?
Well, that was slow speed too, so I don't think it was rear wing. I think it's, for the amount of long flowing corners and sort of angled braking zones we've got, I think, maybe sacrifice that, because you got to get that, you got to make that front end rotate at some point, right? So,
yeah, you do,
and it's also
definitely got to.
It's a Ferrari trait, I think. It's for some reason, the Mercs seem to drive very, very similarly, which is odd considering the location and the weight distribution of the two cars.
The Merc is an interesting car, though, and it always has been. The Merc has always been an interesting car. If you slam the brakes on, if you slam the throttle on, your back end's going to come and say, hey, no, don't do that to me. I want to join. You're going to want it to join the front of it. So they've got to be a little bit mindful of it.
In the meantime, Richard Mare's actually closed in, I would say, a fraction. He's just sort of maintaining position with Owen Coleman. So Coleman not gapping in front, but in terms of things, those two are 3.5 seconds down the road from everyone else at this point in time. Stefan Mellis has just said something as well, and I think he's around at this point in time.
Yeah, he is. And there was contact on our screen as well. Right at the moment, we've just gone to this replay. Oh, Mellis hit the tyre barrier. Mellis has hit the tyre barrier, and that has damaged his car. And there was other people going off all at the same time there currently. So I'm going to try and have a hunt to find. Was that Ben Woods having a moment? Yeah. See as he comes down into 16. No, they're just very, very slow, unfortunately.
Oh, that was the whack to Bottrell though in behind him. Was it Bottrell? Wasn't Bottrell. It would have been Dutch. They got a little bit of a hurry up from Trent Allen in behind him.
Well, if he's going slowly, he's going to get a bit of a hurry up, isn't he? Where's Bottrell going to go or Dutch going to go? They need him to get on with it. So he's got to get a move on a little bit, haven't they? That's part and parcel of racing.
Yeah, well, settled ourselves in. The other thing we said was wide circuit, lots of runoff room, need for a safety car low.
Hopefully.
Tell you what, JP, something else that's come up was we actually saw, don't know if you watched any of the actual supercars action from Bathurst a couple weeks ago. But,
Can I just say no and nobody go at me? Okay, because no, I didn't. But,
that's a right front off the ground for Nick Bottrell. Or disconnected. I think it might be just disconnected, so.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see where he's gone.
I'm going to say that's another tyre barrier.
Well, there's where Leaf McClimb it past Bottrell. Oh, he's already gone, isn't he, by then? You carry on for a minute, Scotty, and I'll see if I can find out where...
I'm going to say it's the exact same tyre bundle that Stefan Mellers hit, and there was more contact. Yeah, it was. It was the exact same tyre bundle. Yeah.
Yeah, Bottrell's gone before then as well. Fortunately for Nick, it looked like he's made that contact.
Yeah, it's basically just up in the background of that shot, off of turn 9, which is the type right here. Oh, there's another car around. I think it's Sean Benici.
Yeah, that was the same tyre barrier. So I think people are going to have to be a little bit more mindful of that, because if that's what's causing a problem, they're going to end up being in the right state, aren't they?
Yep.
He's just slow out of that one, isn't he, currently? So, yeah, that looks like that tyre barrier is causing more harm than good, should we say, Scotty?
Yeah, and I can tell you, Harbiger's just received another 5-second penalty for contact on lap 10 with 92. And 92's Rain Campbell, so that was that incident that we saw not too long ago. Race Control's had their hands busy a little bit tonight. I didn't expect that to be the case coming here, but such is life. Wide track, really wide track service here at MotorLand Aragón.
Yeah, but it gives them the space, don't they? That's the thing. They need that space to be able to go and do and have that, just in case they have any moments like they have been having, you know. And I think at the end of the day, they've got to make sure that they're using all the track, but clearly stay away from that tyre barrier, because that tyre barrier comes out and you are going to be in trouble there. So, Cher, do you guys have displays which shows the speeds? Well, yeah, you look at them coming down the back straight. They're going to be 100 plus miles an hour there, and probably near 150 by the time they get into 16.
Something's happened to Adam Jepson on this lap. Ridiculously slow. He's got damage on the front end, but it's not as bad. But I've got him off track for an extended period of time. It was the same tyre bundle, JP.
Is it?
Yeah, it was exactly the same tyre bundle. Oh! Not at the same angle, which is why he's managed to save that car, but... so he's already gone here.
Already
it was...
gone, isn't he? Trying to see where Jepson went off circuit at the moment.
Well, he didn't really go off the circuit initially. This is just him just driving a recovery lap.
Oh, that's already happened there as well. Here it is. There. Ouch.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
That's 3 cars? 3 cars.
Yep, we're at 3 now.
Yeah, 3 is claimed already, isn't it?
At 25 minutes in, JP. So there's more coming.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we're going to go by that, they're all going to be in there. Is Eli Donaldson in the pink machine? That is Racanello and Leaf McClimate going side by side. Running now through turn 14 and 15 round the right hander. Racanello does make it through on this time, but I'm sure Leaf McClimate's not gone yet as these guys are battling it out.
I think it's time to just sort of settle in for the long haul at this point in time. Keep saving tyre. I guarantee you, track temp really hasn't come up all that much, so grip level hasn't changed massively. But we've got 3 cars that are already a fast repair in the hole, and it's all from self-inflicted, just trying to get on the power too soon, realistically.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yep, I agree. But this is battle back up front. Owen Coleman and Richard Mayer going here, fighting it out. Yeah, he's caught him. He's done a really good job going around 8 and then through turn 9 before they go off to the looping left-hander of Marc Marquez corner. Here it goes. They've got to be careful on the exit because, well, there's a tyre barrier that seems to be causing some issues, and there's been more currently, Scotty, with an hour and 33 to go.
I wonder how many people are listening in as we talk along at this point in time, and whether or not there's some of them that are now going, that tyre bundle on the exit at turn 9, got to be careful of that, because that'll be an interesting one. I tell you what, the pace though from Richard Mayer, I was race controlling him with him the other night. He wasn't really concerned, wasn't really mega focused on this race. He was just trying to support everything that was going on and get through the week. But he's turning it on. He's found some time to get some practice in.
It's like anything, though, isn't it, with racing in general, as these guys come down towards turn 16. The more you practice, the faster you get. And if you practice well and practice efficiently, because there's practice of going out and just spinning laps, and then there's practicing efficiently, where you're making impacts and differences and taking notes of where you can go faster, where you can't, what gear can you go up a gear, can you not go up a gear. There's all aspects related to practicing. And you've just got to make sure you're practicing correct. And Eli Donaldson, Racanello and McClimate are definitely practicing each other's patience as they go on the run from 15 down to 16.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, I can tell you that much. And it's Donaldson that leads the way from McClimate Racanello in the battle pack at the moment. And Racanello backs out deep on the anchors now from Leith McClimate, trying to get down the inside. Donaldson gets spooked a little bit at the apex, and he's done a phenomenal job of parking that Porsche right where no one would have thought he could get that Porsche down the inside. Gets the job done, gets out the other side. Pit stops, JP, pit stop season has started. Brock Caddi's in, so is Chris Riddell. Other than that, everyone else tends to continue on at this point in time. We're short of the half an hour mark. And my mind casts back to last weekend. How many cars did we know had to make that extra pit stop? And it cost them big time in terms of their race. Owen Coleman, I wonder whether or not he's just fuel saving a little bit. He's just being a little bit more cautious and making sure he goes the distance early on.
I'm wondering how this is going to work out. I can't quite think what sort of plan this would be, because you're early, right? It is early, isn't it? I'm not just dreaming the fact that it's early, that it's gone 30 minutes. But what's the plan here, do we think, for Brook Kadai and people that have gone into the pits? What do we think they're going to be up to within their own area? Stay away! Gee whiz, Batman. Just see another one losing here. So, and then we've got Shaw making his way back through the field. Yes, Stu Shaw is there. He's in the mix. He's coming up to the back at the moment of Adrian Grech. And Grech has got Burgess for company in front of him.
Greg Brooks, where is Greg this evening? What's he doing out in YouTube land? Why is he out there on the racetrack? That's what I want to know.
Maybe he's tired, Scotty. Had a rough day. you know, things kicked in.
You've got coffee in your hands. I know you, JP. You're drinking a coffee. You can't complain about being tired.
Do you know what? I can't this morning, actually, Scott, to be fair. Because I'm normally up at 5 o'clock on a Sunday doing my son's paint round with him, and unfortunately we both slept in and we didn't get out there till about 6:30. So I've had a good few hours, Kip, for a man that hardly sleeps. I've had a nice little bundle last night, I've got to be honest. But yeah, it's all different, isn't it, when you're racing, and you need to be on it when you're racing, and if you're not on it, you're going to be in trouble. And I think for the likes of the Brooks, who is sitting there as well, it's one of them things, doesn't it? So go for it, have a night off, it ain't going to hurt you.
Well, he said it's actually to do with his pedals, faulty pedals at the moment. That's a good reason. Oh, there's a car backwards. It's Latella again. Alfonso Latella at this point in time is facing the wrong direction. My word, he's not having a good night.
No, we won't keep impounding his misery, Alfonso Latella, unfortunately, in that Ferrari that already does look like it's quite battered. Well, if you're going to take a sausage curb and stick the Ferrari on 2 wheels and you've got no grip on the other 2, unfortunately, this into the wall you will go. So, yeah, I think that would be the last of what we'll see of Alfonso. Can't keep impounding the poor man's misery.
Oh. Well, the worst part for Alfonso is he's got a giant big whack in the right rear corner of that car. So the problem he's got now is that if there was already some sort of balance issue with his car, well, he's now got a car with an upset right rear corner, and that's going to make it even worse. So,
yeah. Stu, there's a shout out for Trenton in the YouTube chat. Come on, Shaw, get past them, he said as well. Maybe not in a pirate accent, mind you. So, yeah.
Where did the pirate accent come
I don't know. I'm still
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, mate. I've not had 10 coffees yet. I've only had 1, and that's not enough. But there we go. In front, Dean Hunt has gone in to the pit, so that's 1 less car Stu Shaw's got to overtake. So let's see if he can make it past all the others that are in front of him as well. But yeah, great little battle back from Stu Shaw.
Which is just see how far up he can get. And the other fact of the matter is that Desmond Harbinger, although he's got 15 seconds worth of penalties, he's managed to go with him. The worst thing that can happen to Harbinger at this point in time is a safety car, because any gap that he's able to put over compatriots or, pull back in, do whatever he can, is just going to go away, and he's going to drop like a rock through the field post race. So he wants this to go green out of the end, and I can tell you, Grech is diving it down the inside, by the way, of Darren Burgess. So those guys are going to go head-to-head as they come round turn 7, crest of the hill at 8, down through the dip as they plunge to turn 9 in the left-hander. Stay away from the tyre barrier on the right-hand side of the road. Burgess gets reasonable drive now off of turn 9, in through the left-hander at 10, and now Adrian Grech is right all over that rear bumper. And Stuart Shaw does not want to see this, because this is holding him up as well. Gets to the inside, tries to cover it a little bit too late, and yields in the end as Adrian Grech. Now he's got to park it up on the apex. Back to the left-hand side of the road. Grech will try and go the long way around. Stuart Shaw got to the inside. Didn't matter for naught, because Adrian Grech has fought that one back. Burgess will look in his rearview mirror and say, guys, keep that one up. And Desmond Harbinger now backs onto the back end of this pack. It's not over. It's not done with. And Stuart Shaw's going to get down the inside once more, JP.
Yeah, Grech has got to make a decision. He's got to go on the defense early. Plant it on that inside line. And he did. He made him think about it. Now he's going to go and send it. That was a no, you can't make that move now. Grech, stay where you are. You've got to be proactive, not reactive. He is going to have the inside coming out of turn 17. Across the front he goes. Adrian Grech is doing a great job of holding them up here. Round 18 now on that run down up through. Harbinger's gone in. To be fair, Shaw's gone in as well. Ideal. No point being hung up.
Good call.
Yeah, but there. So no point being hung up behind him. Just go into the pits. Leaf McClimate currently has gained 19 places there as well. So Leaf McClimate doing a stellar job.
Yeah, so we'll wait for the pit lane cycle to jump out the other side. But once that is all over, and we had the field effectively normalising it, the other side of the coin, JP, is for the guys that pit just before the 30-minute marker, an interesting one. If this can be done in 2 pit stops, well, they've effectively put themselves into the 3rd pit stop, because I was thinking about it, you know, in terms of half an hour stints. Well, at the moment, we're 35 minutes into this race. Now, I'm expecting the field to come down the lane this lap, which means that we've sort of got some leeway and some time to sort of play with, because for every minute, you know, you go over here, you've got effectively 3 of them sort of banked up, and the cars that all sort of pit early, they didn't pit that early, so I think they're going to pop out on the same pit strategy, but they will be in the early pit side of things, as I can tell you, Lethal Climate's rejoined just in behind Chris Ruddle as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming in and out at the moment. We'll give this a minute to settle down. Coleman's now gone in off the front 2 as Mayer does it there. Coleman, Woods, Dutch and Allen's in. Jeffrey's in. What's Provençali going to do this time around? Is he coming in as well, or is he going to make sure that he can go an extra lap?
No, he's gone.
He's gone an extra lap, Ricky, so fair play to him. What about Foz in the Porsche? Foz is in. What about Pellet in the Porsche? Is he going to go in? He is.
Indeed he is.
What about the Audi? Yep. So I'm expecting the BMW of Eli Donaldson then, going off Ricky Provençali going through. Technically, Eli Donaldson should go on.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, well, there you go. Ricky's just done a great job of saving fuel then. Fair play, Rick. Matt Kidd's in, and McMinimum. Sorry, Jess. McMinimum has got through, and it goes on for another lap. So at the moment, Provençali, Mayer, and McMinimum there have got through. That was easy for me to say, wasn't it, on a Sunday morning?
I think Jesse gets that a lot, to be fair. So I think he's used to it by this point. So anyway, in terms of pit strategy, McMenamin, pops himself into the top 10.
Who was that? Sorry?
Jesse McMenamin.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, don't. Too early in the morning. Oh, dear. Alan and Dutch, they're back scrapping once more in 6th and 7th place. Doing a stellar job currently. So fair play to them for that one. Hour and 22 on this clock, Scotty.
Yeah, so just shy of that 40-minute marker, aren't we? Look, if Richard Mayer, no, he's in the pit lane this time by, so that won't work. So to anyone that's sort of been holding back a little bit, could you imagine if Ricky... I just had a quick look at Rick, and I had a heart palpitation there for half a moment going, I think he might be out of fuel, because his car certainly was sluggish getting off the corner. I think it was just sluggish. I'm just thinking, if someone can go 1 extra lap from here, yes, it's an aggressive save to get you there, but that's enough to get you home 1 stop less. So if somebody's just been doing their math a little bit and, you know, kept their head switched on, and believe me, Jesse McMenamin is among those drivers with the potential to do so, although I don't think Mercedes is very fuel efficient, I'll say that much. So I would expect him in as well, but we're literally a minute and a half shy of 3rd race distance, and he's not going to make it, so...
No, he's in now. Ricky's in. And
everyone's in. Yep.
Yeah, everyone's been through. So, what was that? 35, 40 minutes? For some of these drivers, a little bit early for others. This could get very, very interesting.
Well, I tell you, Richard Mayer as well with that pit stop, he's come out still, you know, in spinning distance of Coleman too. So, that battle's not resolved itself yet, and I think we will... continue to see that one progress as the night wears on.
Yeah.
Alan's getting a little bit closer to Andrew Dutch at this point in time. Ben Jeffries still just outside that sort of marker, but Brock Kadai in the Challenger class. Don't forget, we have sort of a pro and a pro-am on the cards for you, ladies and gentlemen. Kadai in 7th spot. He's doing a phenomenal job. But 2nd place, he nearly hit the barriers at the outside of turn 9 too. I tell you what, he nearly hit that tyre bundle. But Fozzie is 10 seconds behind in 2nd place in terms of Challenger.
Yeah,
I think like Donaldson is in more trouble.
They don't want to be hitting that tyre battle barrier. Sure, now. Yeah. That is Chris Pellet in front of him currently. So for sure, he's making gains. Just how many gains is he going to be able to get? That will be the question.
Eli Donaldson and Leith McClimate just had an accident, by the way, so that's just been called through. Oh, Jepson's in trouble! And I reckon he's clouded the same tyre barrier again. No, he's had contact with a car. And it's Darren Burgess.
Yeah, I think this is the one.
No, it's actually later on in the lap.
But they're running. Ooh.
Oh, playing with fire with that tyre barrier. Stay on this one, JP, because it gets spicy.
Yeah, Burgess goes in deep. It looks like Burgess almost tagged that tyre barrier. Jepson's on the inside. He's being squeezed out. Was there anywhere for him to go, though? That's going to be the question.
Well, to come down to race control, have a look at and basically go who moved further to initiate it. So that'll be an interesting one to keep half an eye on.
Yeah, but do we think that race control are actually going to come out on that one? Because it didn't look that drastic. It looked like he went for a gap that wasn't there and got squeezed out of it. But I'm not race control, so I'm not going to get myself in trouble.
You're an opinionated man, JP, and that's why we like you.
I am opinionated, and that's what generally gets me in trouble.
That's why I like you. Hey, man, you don't hold back. You say what you've got to say. That's all I'll say. All right, it is probably time for a check-in in terms of who's doing the best up and down the field at this point in time. Leith McClimate, I think, has definitely got the most positions gained. He's up 20 spots. Oh, my word. Every time I look in with somebody, they just about clout the barrier off of turn 9. And Leith McClimate will lose 1 spot to Aaron Racconello, but he's still got a race car underneath him. And Stuart Shaw on the recovery drive. The race results won't show that this was a recovery drive of the ages, but when you qualify on pole and a couple laps into this thing, you're facing in the wrong direction. He's done. You can't complain about this drive. He'll be spewing that he's not doing it from the front.
But that's always the chance you take, isn't it? When you're in a fight, you've got to realise that racing is racing, and he's now just got to make a way back. And Stu Shaw at the moment is making a way back, so fair play to him. And we've also got Dutchies on the defence with Alan behind, and he's trying to get Woods in front. So Dutchies kind of sandwiched at the moment with these guys as he tries to battle and defend all at the same time.
This is for a podium spot too, so Ben Woods at the moment, probably a little bit out of form, probably thinks he should have been on the podium a little bit more. But for the meantime, does have a podium spot locked in as we currently stand. But she's a long, long motor race with another hour and 16 minutes on the cards in terms of things. So we'll try and keep updates coming. But for the meantime, where are we looking?
Shaw's there.
Up and around the track.
Still making moves going forward. He's kind of squashed in. He's got Harbinger behind and Pellet in front. They're running off around turn 10, coming down into turn 11 through to 12 now. Harbinger, of course, is as quick as Shaw, so this could be either great for both of them or bad for both of them when they hold each other up. That's going to be the question.
I mean, he's just been shadowing him through the field, hasn't he? Desmond Harbinger. Always finding a way to keep in touch, keep attached.
He's had no reason not to, though, hasn't he? That's the thing. There's no reason for him, for Harbinger, just to make sure that he stays with Shaw, because they were at the front and they can move through the field together. So that's what they've got to look out for, isn't it? You know, move through the field together and hopefully you'll be able to move yourself up here. So stay with them. Whoa.
Stuart Shaw's struggling to get that Porsche on the way. at that hairpin, and he just cannot drive the car off the corner.
No. But he's got to find a way. That's the thing. It's all right saying for us to sit here and go, oh, he's struggling really badly. You've got to find a way, because you're going to have people come up behind you really quickly who's going to want that to get away, you know, you to use that to get away. So I think overall he's just going to have to try and get a wriggle on a little bit with Shaw, but he can't seem to get past Pellet. So Pellet's doing a great job, and Shaw can't get past him, and then Harbinger's trying as well.
We've had a change for spot in the podiums, by the way, because Andrew Dutch has managed to get by Ben Woods. Something's just gone on, I think, with Leith McClyman as well, because he's on his way into the pits. Indeed, he is in the pits. So something's happened for Leith McClyman.
Well, this is where Matt Kidd got past him. But
It's the tire. Guess what, JP?
did he hit the tyre?
Guess what? It's the same tyre bundle.
That's already done, isn't it?
Oh, he's done! Leith McClyman's done! Race over! Oh, no! That's him just taking the fast way back to the pits.
It's what? He's finished.
He's done. Race over.
Any specific reason?
Tyre bundle at turn 9.
Leaf hit tyre barrier. He's an unhappy bunny. Is it here?
Yep, this will be it.
It's got to come out. Oh, there it is. Slightest little bit of contact. Still going in the right direction. Oh, that's Jepson. That'd be why. Oh, don't know. Oh, no, he's not going in the right direction, is he?
And I guarantee you, he's already burned his fast repair from the stoush he was having. Maybe forgot to uncheck it, I would say, from the first pit stop. And sort of left him in a hole with nothing to do. But yep, Leith McClyman's race is done. And there's been a change for P3 as well, because it is going to be...
Dutch is there, and he Woods.
Andrew Dutch.
Trent Allen's behind. So... That's the...
I think it was the hairpin. Yeah, I'm just having a quick look back at it. He had a big lift. So Ben Woods is fuel saving. Ben Woods is fuel saving mega. Which is why he's starting to fall away in terms of the pace. So he had a hugely... Dutch was nowhere near being able to get a move sent down the inside of him. And he had a lift. So Ben Woods is trying something here. This could be an attempt at getting the 40-minute strategy to work.
Anything you're doing now, you've got to kind of make a choice, right? Because when you get into the hour mark, you've got to decide, right, am I committed to this strategy? Because if you're not committed to the strategy, don't run the strategy, because you're going to be in trouble. You're going to find yourself in trouble. So don't run the strategy if you're not committed to it. And that's what they've got to be able to do. He's got to make sure he's committed to what he's doing and getting it done, because doing it half-heartedly, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be a good idea for him.
But the key for me, JP, is have a look at where they pitted on the first round of pit stops. The only one out of this top... well, there's two drivers in the top 8, and if I head back to Rick Provenzali, actually have a look a little bit deeper in terms of things. There is 2 drivers in the top 10 who pitted at the end of lap 19, and I reckon to get home, because remember you got that formation lap on that first round of pit stops, I reckon to get home, you had to get there, right? So once you get there, once you get to lap 19 on that first round of pit stops, you potentially can get far enough into the race off of the next couple. So,
but who's in
the
danger?
problem is...
Are we looking at the likes of Jepson, who pitted down on lap 12, who could be in a little bit danger of doing 3 stops? Are we looking at Brooke Kadai, who's pitted on lap 14?
No, it's 3 stops. I think the bulk of the field will do 3 stops. Somebody out there will try for a 2. But I reckon Ben Woods is going for it. We've had 4 separate pieces of contact with the tyre barrier at this point in time.
Yes.
One of them was Adam Jepson. No, one of them was not Adam Jepson. Yes, it was Jepson, I think, actually.
Jepson,
yeah,
McClymer,
and there was 3 other.
Jepson, McClymer. Oh,
good to see we both got the memory of a goldfish, yeah.
I'm allowed. I'm old. I'm allowed.
Ben Woods' pace has recovered on this latest lap, so I don't know what's going on there. That's a really, really interesting one.
Maybe he just had to get within a certain window for himself. Get within a window and then be able to go the best that you can go. Do you know what I mean? And then once you've got yourself within that window, then you can go full flat again. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what's happening. Isn't it?
Well, Coleman's not saving. Coleman's absolutely not saving. I just went on board and had a quick look at him. And Richard Mare's just in sort of touching range in terms of the draft. So, I mean, he's saving a fraction of fuel in that mindset. But yeah, that sort of gives you a picture. I just wonder whether or not they're going for it. Oh no! Dean Hunt said something happened!
This is him passing.
And it was
Harbinger.
actually... Yeah, so it's from Harbinger. Harbinger's had contact with another car. Oh, Dean didn't even know he was out there.
No.
He had no clue that he was still alongside.
Dude, what is... Where was he coming from? So he's already had his moment, hasn't he?
Was Harbinger. Harbinger's the one that we sort of need to keep half an eye on. Boy, his night's not been great. Who was that straightened him up?
I don't know, but that's the 86 machine.
Chris Pellet, yep.
But Pellet's on the outside alongside. Hold on. So Pellet's on the outside. He's trying to turn. Nothing. Right, Harbinger now should be turning to the right.
I mean, there's some debate about it being an unsafe region, but where's Pellet?
So what do you mean is there a debate about an unsafe rejoin? He shouldn't have even been in that area. Like, I'm like straight up, right? So this is the incident, okay? Now, his relative will tell him all of these cars are coming through. Exit right. Don't do that. He should have been up here. Where he parked the car should have been his on area. Trying to rush it there has just caused what it's caused. I don't know. Good luck race control on that one. Scotty, you there?
Yeah, I am. I'm just finding it a little bit tough to believe what's sort of going on for Harbinger this race. Like it's nearly like he's just had multiple brain explosions because there'll be another penalty for him.
Yeah, that's kind of what we would expect, though. Yeah, because that was a bad rejoin, terrible rejoin, if you want to be precise.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but from Dean Hunt, like Dean, look, I get that we know, and indeed Harbinger's race is actually done as he exits the service, so his night's over. In terms of things, I was actually having this same debate with a couple of NASCAR guys earlier today, and I said to him, look, what's the harm? What's the risk versus reward? The risk is for Dean is that you turn across there. Yes, you're expecting the guy to probably run a little bit wider, but what's the reward? The reward is you make up half a tenth. The risk is you get spun, and it's just like leaving that little bit of extra room there just for safety means that nobody ends up in it. Yeah, I mean it's not his responsibility to. But
who are you saying?
No, I'm not putting
Just
blame on anyone. Dean Hunt. I understand that. I'm not positioning blame. The Frog Leap Juice car that's just come through at the back end of this one. But what's the harm in giving a little bit of extra space there?
The guy's off track. Does he? Hold on. He's off track. Does he deserve space? Whose responsibility is it, Scotty, in racing to get that car back on track safely? Whose is it?
By the rule book, yes. By the rule book, you are 100% right.
So does he deserve space if he's off the side of the circuit?
But what's so the risk from Dean's perspective is?
But does he deserve space?
Yes,
if he's off
I
track?
agree with you. I'm agreeing with you. But what I'm saying is a racecraft and a race brain is says that you give that guy extra room because you don't want contact to be made.
But he doesn't need to if the torpedo is coming on like that. That we can both agree that Harpinger's line should not have been that rejoin line.
Harpinger's getting penalised, 100%. Again, yes, but it's one of those things whereby a good racing driver will just. What's the harm in being, if you're a car width further wide there and give a car width worth of extra space, you've lost nothing. Yeah, but you've minimised the risk that you're making contact.
But it's like Peggles has said. Cutting the corner would have saved him at least 10 seconds as opposed to spinning, and now he's got a penalty. So, tune in next week for the charity boxing match between myself and Scotty Rankin as we take to the ring for charity here on the GPP YouTube channel. Don't forget, it's on Netflix.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
From a racecraft perspective,
I do,
yeah, yeah.
My perspective is, A, that shouldn't
He doesn't have to, no.
A, doesn't have to, and B, there was no way in hell Daz Harbinger should have been coming on the track at that point. Knowing that he's looking in his relative, knowing that he's got all these cars around him, and to be honest, he should have gone right. That was it. There was no other option for him. He should have gone to the right-hand side.
I suppose I'm coming from the world of NASCAR.
You don't deserve it.
Whereby I'm coming from the world of NASCAR, whereby any contact is worth lap time, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm protecting my car at all costs.
But you don't.
I'm not relying on other people's brains.
You don't deserve space when you're not even on the circuit.
I don't trust people, JP. I don't trust people.
Well, after that,
just because he shouldn't doesn't mean I trust him.
Yeah, but you just don't. You don't. And regardless of that, you do not, in any shape or form, go and come onto the track like that. No way.
Anyway, moving on.
No, I don't want to. I like it when we have discussions like this. But anyway.
Well, yes. I suppose that's why I tend to end up in less accidents like that, right? I was having a lovely debate with some younger drivers who were sort of making their way in the NASCAR arena earlier today. And one of the bigger things I said to them is, why do you need to be closer? What have you gained here? What have you gained by putting your car in those positions? It's one of those debates whereby the risk of being turned is far greater than what you ever would have gained. So prevent contact, create more space when and where you can. Because you keep facing the right direction. Getting turned, even though you have the moral high ground, you've still ended up backwards.
Then rejoin safely. Just put it out there. Just saying.
In the meantime, though, Richard Mann's starting to close in on Owen Coleman, back to within half a second.
Let us know at home, guys. Do we think who's in the right, who's in the wrong here? Did he deserve space for coming back on? Should he have gone to the right hand
side? I'm not saying he deserves space.
Hold on, Scotty. I'm doing something important here. I'm trying to commentate, Scotty. Let us know, guys, what your thoughts are at home. Oh, God, blimey. Never mind, Scotty, carry on. Sorry, I'm just going to sit back in my box.
Penalty-wise, you're 100% correct. I agree with you. Yes, so that's the mark that we're on. In the meantime, though, I'm enjoying this drive from Richard Mann. I'm really, really curious because if you have a look, Ben Woods and Trent Allen, both of them continue to drift further backwards. JP, I reckon these guys are trying to cut a pit stop out.
Is it physically
I reckon they
possible?
are.
Is it
it's
possible?
not impossible.
Okay.
It's not impossible, but the problem I have is the pace is probably a touch too quick. Oh, they both are. I'm just listening to Trent Allen just off the throttle very, very early. So this will be relevant. Andrew Proctor's the car that sits in between them. Lap car sits in 32nd at this point in time.
Go on board with him now. Where is he at the moment? He's coming down into 16. If he's going to lift, he'll lift well before the 16, turn 16. He's not. Yeah, he's in neutral. He's clutched all the way in.
The clutch doesn't work on these cars, BTW. It's
Well,
literally
he
just
was
a
in
lift and
neutral
coast.
at one point.
Yeah.
So whatever he's done,
How's he finding neutral? Is he using a H pattern?
I don't know. But there's
That'd be one way to do it.
not.
Ben Jeffries closing in on these guys, by the way, JP. He's only a second and a half behind now.
Oh, stay tuned, guys. It's getting very, very spicy here again. And let's see how these guys rock it on. Dean Hunt is still in the mix after having his moment of panic over the phone there, as we saw Des Harbinger come back onto the circuit. Interesting.
Sits third in Challenger class at this point in time. Leader's still Brock Kadai over Mark Foster. Kadai's got about 16 seconds or so over Kadai. Kadai's got about 16 seconds over Foster at this point in time. And Dean Hunt sits about 10 seconds in arrears of Foster for your Challenger class podium at this point in time.
Yeah, this gap's all developing further. Really, Chris Ruddle and James Solani are the closest battle on the field at this moment in time, believe it or not, as Chris Pallett is in the pits again. So that is pit stop number 2 for Chris. 58 minutes. There's going to be a third one.
He's committed to that strategy. Like you said, you just wanted to see drivers commit. And that is committing. And there is 58 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, so just over the hour mark. So I'd say that's his tyre pit stop right there. He's sort of going, all right, well, I'm doing them in 30 minutes, so let's come in straight down the middle. Split the tyres in half.
Yeah. You've got to try anything, haven't you? That's the thing. You've got to try anything possible. And give it a go. See what happens.
So we're trying to keep half an eye on, where these battles are going. I mean, he's hanging with Martin Hallen at this point in time. We've now got to pick out the next driver who's made up a bunch of spots. Darren Burgess is plus 12 at this point in time. I think that's about the best I'm seeing. Plus 13. Brent Tucker is up 13 spots. And Jessica McMenamin is plus 16.
Yeah, I got my minimum
17. Yep.
Yeah, 17. Brent Tucker 14. Ben Woods is close. He's got Trent Allen behind him, but we think Trent's lifting like a trooper. So hopefully he's not going to do anything too dramatic, but we'll have to see here how these guys continue to fight it out.
I'm curious. Well, the other thing is, think about all the fuel they're going to save at the back end of this one. That last stop's going to be quite short from these guys. It's not going to be short enough to bring them all the way back to the front, but I think they're I think Trent's realised, I don't think I can necessarily get past Ben Woods, and if I do, he's gonna use me to fuel save. So I think this is just sort of a little bit of chess being played out.
Well, yeah. Why not? You've still got 56 minutes of a race to go. So why, you might as well play as many games as you physically can, right? Because what are you losing out on? You're not, at the end of the day. You're bringing it, trying to play out a strategy that some may not see as works, but some may see works amazing. So, what more could you ask for?
Another thing I'm keeping an eye on is Fozzie's doing a really, really good job. So we talked about him last week. I think he was just trying too hard. Just really throwing everything. This week, it's a really relaxed performance. No, don't tell me. I think Fozzie's computer's just quit the bucket.
Where's he gone?
I was literally just about to talk about him and say, he's having a really, really quiet race. It took me, I just opened my mouth to say, he's doing a great job. He's really relaxed. He's driving really smoothly. He's not over driving the car, and his computer's given up the ghost.
Where actually has he gone out of session? Oh, no, is he?
Not yet.
No, he's dead.
Oh, he's in. He's still back. He's just got back in. Oh, my word.
He's still there. So fair play, Foz. Woods is still here with Alan. Shez told us off in YouTube chat. Okay, guys, enough verbal fisticuffs. Let's see what the racecraft determine. Racecraft or race control?
Ragecraft?
No, race control. So there we go. Great job.
Ben Woods has got a meatball. I reckon that's a flat tire. Oh, no, don't tell me. Guess what?
He's at the barrier.
He's hit that tire bundle.
Yep.
Oh, he has too.
Yep. There we go. That. So vicious. Commentator's curse. Hey, that was Scotty. That weren't me. I'm not taking responsibility for that one this morning. That's you, Scotty. Oh my God, look at the steering. All the way, literally 90 degrees, Scotty. That tyre barrier is a beast.
Mental. Well, that puts paid to the strategy. Can't do that anymore, and
Burgess got a little bit excited there as well and flirted with the eve of danger, giving himself a rush of adrenaline on the Sunday morning as he's got Dean Hunt right behind him.
And now, Trent Allen, I tell you what, if he makes his fuel strategy work, well, it'll be an interesting one.
But he's got
first and foremost. Now he hasn't got it. Yeah.
He can't.
I think if he had the draft partner, he might have had an opportunity, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he can now. He hasn't got that partner to work with, has he? So, I don't think he's going to be able to, Scotty.
Jeez, you were all over the place tonight.
No, I'm not. Just enjoying my job
Andy
on a Sunday
McCutlass.
morning.
Andy McCutlass.
What are you talking about?
Eye patch. And an eye patch.
That leads me to me.
Do you know the reason behind...
Go on.
Go ahead. The reason behind eye patches. Pirates wearing eye patches.
No, not without jumping on Google.
So it was so that what they wore it for was that they had one eye always perpetually prepared for the dark. So when they took the eye patch off and switched it over to the other, so you walk into the barrel into the below ground on a ship, you had really good vision because that eye was used to being in the dark.
But do you know why they're called pirates?
Because they ate lots of pie.
Because they are.
My word. Oh, is there some Jack Daniels in your coffee this morning?
No. It was a dad joke. It was one of the dad jokes I think I've heard at some point.
I've enjoyed it, yeah.
Dean Hunt there with Darren Burgess. They're going round now through past turn 14 on from 15 down into 16 here, Scotty. So a great run from there. Greg Burgess, but he's up Captain Jack.
I think it's just one of those days. It's been a long week. It's the weekend. We've both just sort of gone. There's not much left. In the meantime, Kadai has made his final second to last pit stop. He'll definitely be making another pit stop from here.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more
moment.
people. Where do we go? 18. They've got to pit on, but roundabout, if there are 18 stoppers are pitting on 36. Stu Shaw must have saved pace because obviously common sense, right, tells us that they're going to double up on the strategy. So 17 to 34 for Stu Shaw. He's not gone in, and we're on lap. Where are we? Lap 35. So I'm expecting at any point they should start rolling back through again here.
Well, Dean Hunt's just come to the lane, so there's one of the drivers straight back down. It'd be interesting. I'm just super curious about what happens to Trent Allen's pace now, whether or not he can actually. He was actually the fastest car on track last time by. Actually, no, sorry, my apologies. It was Stuart Shaw was actually the quickest on track last time by. So Shaw's got a bank worth of pace, and he took 2.5 seconds out of Ricky Provenzali. So something happened to Ricky on that last time by, because that's not standard. That's definitely, you lost a boatload of time.
Yeah. Trying to find
Anyone sort of grabbing your eye at this point in time? At the moment, Rick, Jimmy?
No, the problem is there's no real standout who you sit back and think, At Minimum's doing a great job in, obviously, the Challenger class. Got Kid in front. They've got about 11 seconds. Is it 11 seconds, give or take? Yeah, about 11 seconds maybe up the road to Kadai. But everybody else is, I think this is where we're going to see a lot of to-in and fro-in. I think it's going to be now whether or not the chess games are out. Who's going to go and commit their queen first? But we have got this gaggle of cars, which has got Benici, Gerard, Donaldson and Middleton all in the mix as Jimmy's at the back of the group with Benjamin Brook at the front. So there we go.
Like you said, it's just sort of got the leaders in amongst it at the moment. They're dealing with a lot of lap traffic, by the way, the race leaders at this point in time. Well, they've actually just cleared that big pack. Now they're okay. They've been sort of picking off traffic, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, and now they're out in the clear again. Margin's just over 1 second at this point in time. About 3.5 seconds back to Andrew Dutch, as he'll be coming up on this next battle of lapped cars as well. And that's actually a really interesting pack to keep half an eye on, because Donaldson's in it, Gerard's in it, Benici's in it, like you said. And that is definitely position.
It is.
There's a couple cars around this one on track too.
Donaldson's well out of shape, though. They're down in the elites, but they're battling away in the mix with the challengers. So
He's had a number of incidents though tonight, to be fair.
Benici's also in here with Brooke. This is a battle for position with Gerard there. Minimum is in third. He's got Foz behind him. So Foz and McMinimum are still battling it out. So great job there, considering we thought Foz might have had a bit of a blue screen situation though as well. Alex K, how's the race going, gents? Well, story of the race is a tyre barrier at the moment that keeps terminating cars. So yeah,
just think of a really, really, really big heavy cone is probably the best way to talk about it.
Owen Coleman, Dutch and Jeffrey are in the pits. What's Provenzali going to do? Is he going to go round for that extra lap, or he should haven't, by my understanding, at least 2 or 3 laps of extra fuel? Or is he going to go and cover off? He is going to go round again. What about Burgess? Burgess's situation will be, I would have thought he should be in this lap.
I'm really curious just how far Richard Mayer takes this, because if he takes this a reasonable step, remember it's about 3 litres of fuel a second, right? It's about a second a lap, nearly a second a lap in terms of static time for fuel to go in. So if he saves 2 laps worth of fuel, that's 2 seconds. He jumps Coleman.
Yeah. But you're asking a lot, aren't you?
Well, I mean, he's done it so far. He's already 1 lap to the good, which is going to get him right up to Owen Coleman. So if his pit stops are perfect and bang on, as we see the battle on track as well. Dutchy's just come out of the pit lane. This is post-pit stop for Andrew Dutch. So that was quite critical that he got cracking with that one.
Yeah, now we've got
Sorry,
Jeffrey.
it's not Dutch. My apologies.
Jeffrey didn't get it there, unfortunately. So Jeffrey's he's been in on lap 36, which was the last lap ago. And he's trying to escape, he's trying to get a good outlap. That's the story of the barrier on the right-hand side there that's causing all the drama. And unfortunately, he ran into Darren Burgess. And Burgess is now racing towards his second stop, while Jeffrey is trying to get on his bike to get up to the back of Dutch a little bit. So for Jeffrey, it probably worked out worse than it did for Andrew Dutch, because Dutch is up the road and escaped already.
Yeah, and consider that if Darren Burgess is at the back end of that tyre compound as well, his pace might be ailing a little bit. He's already, a pit stop effectively behind Ben Jeffrey at this point in time. So he'll see if he can get on with this one. Dutch, he's just got back through some traffic just up ahead. And I'm just keeping an eye on Coleman's obviously come out. Richard Mayer's got another lap, so end of lap 36, start of lap 37. So it's been 18-18 for Owen Coleman. And at this point in time, it looks like Richard Mayer might be going at least 19-19. If he can go 19 and then 20 laps on this stint, He's going to be in a phenomenal little spot. That'll be 3 laps already up in terms of fuel. Pit lane exit starts to get busy as well, and you've just seen it over there on the left-hand side. But for Andrew Dutch at the moment, 6.5 seconds now the margin to Owen Coleman. He's trying to claw that back in. And there's an opportunity on the table for Dutchy to pick up some big points here tonight and set himself up the back end of the season, and indeed for the Teams Championship as well, JP.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with the scores, I think, to be fair. When you're battling out, what do you concentrate on, Scotty? Do you battle a lot? Do you concentrate on the teams, or do you concentrate on yourself first?
Well, I mean, take a bank of points. Is my whoa! Matty Gerard just had a big old snap coming off of turn 9, right in front of Dutchy. So he's definitely on cold tires.
So what do you concentrate on first?
The result. Get the result, and you help both of them.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, but Dutch and Coleman and everybody else, they've got to be looking at where they're at themselves first, aren't they? Before you concentrate on the team standings. Get yourselves into a good position. I think Provençal is going to be in this time around. Racanello's having a bat with Grech, and Grech is trying to get, well, he's got 8 seconds up the road, unfortunately, to Dean Hunt. But this should, I'd be surprised if Mayer doesn't go in. And it's looking like Provençal isn't going to go in either. Oh, he is. There you go.
Well, Richard Mayer's gone 20 laps on this stint now, JP. This is his 20th lap.
Yeah.
He's close. If he can get one more lap out of this thing, now that is a huge ask to go 2 extra laps at the pace that he's been doing. Well, but if he can, he's in the window.
Yeah, he's got a car in front of him, hasn't he? So he's able to use him if need be.
Well, he's been pulled along. Yeah, you're 100% right. By Coleman, a large portion of that stint.
Yeah, it is possible. See how he goes on. Is he going to pull a master?
Well, Trent Allen's.
That's the question.
Trent Allen's in and out. Now he went to the end of lap 37, so he did get an extra lap out of that stint compared to everyone else around him, but it's not enough. And the other question that's in the back of my mind is: has Richard Mayer been playing with his food?
What do you mean?
Has he had pace to burn this whole time?
Possibly, but he's got a 45-second gap to the car behind. So he should technically, even if he goes in, he should go in and out and still come out in first place.
Don't think he will, but I'll tell you what. If he gets one more lap on here, if he doesn't pit this time by, he will make it in terms of fuel. I reckon he's got to pit though. Yeah, he does.
All right,
he's 2 minutes short in terms of fuel.
I reckon he'll come out. He's got 44 seconds. Don't forget he's rolling for a lot of it as well. So there's a good possibility that he will come out in first place. We'll keep an eye on where Coleman is. Coleman's coming, just starting on that run there. As this looks like third place has had a bit of a moment. Dutchy's still going. He is still going, but it's a long way back from Coleman at the moment.
No, Dutchy's pit. They've all pit at the front. Richard Mayer's was the last pit stop to come in. I'll tell you what, Richard Mayer would be sort of kicking himself a little bit. He didn't take fuel that little bit further on that first stop. Because if he went 1 lap further on that first stop, he'd be in the window. That's what it's going to come down to, is 1 lap in terms of fuel. His tyres are done now for Richard Mayer, and he is rolling. Coleman gets through.
Going to be close. It's going to be close.
Very, very tight.
Coleman's just about to take it, I think. Yeah, he is. Not very far between him at all, Scotty, but close enough there for Richard. Close enough.
And Dutchy's closed in too. Dutchy's only 4.5 seconds backwards. He was a little bit further than that, so he's got some pace to burn now as well as Andrew Dutch. But for Richard Mayer, screw it. If you know that you've got to find 2 minutes worth of fuel, now he has saved a bit to go to 20 laps on this stint. There's a car parked. Oh, there's a car massively wrecked. It's Nick Bottrell. My word. How's he ended up there? That's all on his own.
Well, he ain't even got a front end, Scotty. I think that may have something to do with contact earlier on. Because he went into the barrier. Bottrell was another one, actually, into that barrier, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was. I'm wondering whether or not he's clouded it again. Because he's got no fast repair left now. Well, he's been missing that front end of that car for a little while.
Yeah, for most of the race. After he took it out.
Did he not repair it?
Maybe he didn't want to, just in case he hit it again. You never know.
Did he cloud it twice? You know what? He might have clouded it twice. Actually, it might have been Nick Botchwell twice.
Either way,
There it is.
that tyre barrier is causing nothing but trouble. So, unfortunately for them. Kadai has got Provenzali in front of him, but Kadai has got Shaw coming up, closing up behind. So at the moment, Kadai and Provenzali, that is a back markers in that one. There is a back marker involved in that one. There, and that's Solani behind Kadai at the moment with Proctor. So, yeah, Provenzali trying to come through, Kadai trying to come through traffic here. Macchinello and Grech fighting it out. And everybody else getting a little bit more spread out here, Scotty, aren't they?
Yeah, I wonder whether Richard Mistakes had a mistake on. Richard Mears had a mistake on that outlap with the cold tyres as well.
Yeah, he's lost a bit of time.
as he brings them back up to temperature, he'll be in a reasonable spot in fresh rubber.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be worrying too much. I don't think he needs to be honest, because we've got a funny feeling Dutch is might have to go on the ground on 36, right? He's 36. He's got 18.
He has to.
Yeah, so he's got 18, 36, 36, 46. What's that going to be? 54. At 54, we expect maybe to see him in, but that's a tight ask as well. But they are going around in 157, so you never know if they're going to get there.
I'm just curious, JP, if the lap time. If Richard Mears just turns the fuel mix down on this thing, I reckon he's got the race won.
You reckon?
Well, the problem is, if he commits to it and if he can make it, he's going to fall like a rock through the field. But he's only going to lose, maybe 3 spots at most, and then they're all going to pit. But the problem is, if it doesn't work, we might have our Adrian Grech lookalike, as I believe we're actually looking at Adrian Grech at the moment.
Yeah, with Aaron Macchinello. These guys still scrapping it out from 13th, 12th and 13th in class. So...
Good news, Adrian Grech will definitely make the finish line this week. He's not attempting to make a fuel save work.
You got to be honest, poor Adrian. You've given so much grief, bless him. Poor little whipper.
There is no one in this league that's safe from grief. Ricky Provenzali's still copping it. From fighting with Jimmy Middleton in round 1 of the GT4 championship.
Yeah,
still copping it.
That was a good scrap, though. That was a good fight.
Lovely start.
There's Brand Tucker here and Oliver going side by side. And then they've got Martin Hanlon behind them. So Hanlon there trying to get past these 2 cars. Not really quite sure where to go for Martin Hanlon at the moment.
Oh, and Ray Oliver's going to come a whack to the rear end. So the Brent Tucker Porsche has now got a Ray Oliver BMW-sized whack in the front end of that Porsche. And there's a flash of the lights as well. I think Ray Oliver is being told exactly where to go by the flash of that light.
No, he's just saying hello. Isn't he? Come on. But to be fair, he's probably angry. But let's see. You've always got to remember one thing when you're doing something like this, right? And you've got to have fun. B, you're not going to change the world. And C, you're certainly not going to put this on your CV and an employer's going to think, oh, he won the 2 hour at MotorLand Aragón. I'm going to employ him. It's never going to happen. Just enjoy what you're doing and enjoy it out there. There's no world peace coming out of this. There's no, anything happening across the world that you're going to cure by doing this. Just enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Have good old battles. Don't do anything silly. And, you'll have a good time doing it.
Stefan Mellis has actually just had a spin as well. And I've just found something that's come as a result of the Stefan Mellis spin. Because it was in the final hairpin, and he sort of was on the grass in between the end of the, sort of doubling, nearly coming back around the hairpin twice. iRacing's gone ahead and issued him a black flag for cutting the track, because in theory he's crossed back over the center line of that hairpin and then come back around on the outside of it. So iRacing's basically saying you've cut the hairpin out, even though he'd already gone around it. Race Control's having a look at it. I do hope they clear that one because it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, there's no real reason for that. As Provinciale with Kadai battling. Round turn 16 they go. Off through the right-hander of 17 and then through 18 and then on to the start-finish straight. Oliver Tucker Hanlon and McMiniman has calmed down just a little bit. But it's this one here. What do we think Kadai is going to do? Different class battle.
I mean, does Kadai know that he's leading the way?
He must do.
I hope someone's talking to him, making him aware at this point in time. Ricky Provenzalé's slow at the moment. I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure he's just taking fresh tyres, but I'm wondering whether or not he's having trouble as Kadai slaps the turtle as they get up and through, I believe that was turn number 4, and settle themselves back down on and in.
He must know he's leading, right? Surely.
And again, sometimes you just get so fixated on the car ahead of you that, you know, do it at whatever cost. Rick's smart here. Well, the problem for Ricky, well, Ricky also got to lap 39, but he didn't get to lap 40 as Richard Mayer did. So for Richard Mayer to get to lap 40, he's gone 19-21? So, no, it was 19 and then 20, my apologies. So he's tied on it. If he could get 21 laps out of this 10, I'm telling you, that's the race for Richard Mayer.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to be very close. Going to be very close. Stay tuned, guys, because this is going to get very, very exciting towards the end here. And I can guarantee you something's going to happen. We're just not entirely sure what it is currently.
And keeping an eye on a couple of cars, and it's sort of from 24th, which is Robert Edwards, all the way through to about 33rd. Which is, I think, is going to be... No, sorry, it won't be. It'll be 32nd. It'll be... Actually, it won't be 33rd.
Who are you looking for?
30th.
James Solani's on the final one on the lead lap.
My apologies. It's 30. It's Chris Ruddell through to about Rain Campbell. Because Campbell's sort of in and amongst some lap traffic, so it's not Campbell. Looking at the wrong driver. Robert Edwards. It's Robert Edwards all the way through to 30th, which is Chris Ruddell. They're sort of all still together. So there's still a lot to play for in this sort of a group. And as you can see, there's sort of lead lap cars sort of in the middle of it. So Kadai has finally made his way around Provenzalé's. Job done for him. This will show how it was done. Back end of the back straight.
Ricky's going to go in deep. Yep. That's going to allow Kadai to come up the inside. He's then going to have the inside or the outside for the next run out of 17. Off track. Through he goes. See you later. Have a good one.
Stuart Shaw's about to arrive on scene for that battle pack as well. He's only about 1.5 seconds behind. So keep half an eye. Yeah, there's Shaw right there. So Shaw coming at them.
Yeah, he's making a bit of a recovery, his old Shaw. So fair play to him.
He's nicked fastest lap of the race in the process too, Jimmy.
Fair play to him. Fair play. He could have just given up, couldn't he? And enough was enough, but nope. Made a sterner stuff as that young.
Head down, got the job done, and he's not really made any contact along the way because Harbinger was in a similar situation, but yeah, it's made a lot of contact with a lot of drivers and race over early, and that's sort of the difference, is be clinical about your overtakes, and I think that's what Stuart's done quite well here.
Yeah, Jepson's having another one that's had a little bit of a mare this evening. He's another victim of the tyre barrier scenario, isn't he? Unfortunately for Jepson. So we're looking back from his right, well, if you look at the car, actually, if you stood behind it, it's your right. So, as we look back at Kidd, who has got Oliver, Tucker and Howland not far behind again.
I'm really interested. The problem is, JP, we're sort of in this holding pattern phase of the race, aren't we?
That middle cycle.
It's just
it's if you're watching Formula One, it's just sleep on the sofa time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem with sleeping on the sofa in the middle of Formula One is moments of brilliance pop out and you miss all of them. I'm really looking forward to going back and watching the Formula One race, actually.
Not at Monaco, I don't, mate.
No, yeah, that's a completely different story.
I
tend to give Monaco a skip and just read the news about it.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. I haven't really gone out of my way to watch Formula One. I didn't watch the last race. I just heard the stuff and won by 30 odd minutes. I haven't got a clue about this one, so no spoilers, please, because I have no idea what went on at all, because they were running it yesterday, weren't they? It was a race yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know what happened on that one, and I haven't even read any form of social media or anything. Oh, Ricky, tyre!
Whoa! That was close. Point to note is that Sainz was sick. And I think somebody said it was tonsillitis.
Yeah, I saw that. He was in hospital with his dad or something. I saw that one.
Yeah, so...
There was a young 18-year-old kiddie taking over, wasn't there?
Behrman. Yeah, Behrman. And Behrman just barely, after being thrown into the car at the very last minute, nearly put the car in Q3 straight away. So, Ollie Behrman, I think his name is.
All right, Scotty. Not many more, mate. Not many more. I haven't watched it.
Appendicitis. There you go.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Well, that's from qualifying. Yeah, Do you watch
qualifying?
You're not one of those.
No, I'm not one of them qualifying people. It'd be like me sitting here saying I'm going to watch third practice when absolutely jackals happening. You can't tell nothing about who's on what because they're all running totally different things. So, no, I don't watch that either. If I do watch the race, it's generally on highlights because then I can fast forward the boring bits as Kadai goes in. Coleman is in as well. He's pitted for his third stop on lap 45. Dutch and Allen, we're going to start seeing that cycle again, I think. Andrew Dutch on 36 at 18. He's got another 8. He should be able to go here. Richard Meyer in first place.
Coleman's already in, isn't he? Did he pit? He did pit. He's on his outlap at the moment. So half an hour to the end of the race, and Coleman's just gone, all right, I know what my numbers are from here. He's 30 seconds off the race lead, 31 seconds off the race lead. So if Richard Meyer just brings the pace down, he's got 30 seconds that he can fuel save, right? That's his marker.
Yeah. I do love Greg Brooks' spelling of appendicitis in YouTube chat. Is that's not how you actually spell it, is it?
No, it's not. It's got a T in it. I know that much.
Yeah. Appendicitis.
Ooh, Brent Tucker. There's been an issue at the second to last sort of corner.
Is that when you get past Jesse McMinimum?
Oh, it's contact. It's going to be contact with Ray Oliver. And it's contact with Ray Oliver after Ray Oliver had contact with Matthew Kidd.
Oh, my dearie me!
It's all kicking off. Well, I think we're going to need a second look at this one. So Kidd goes deep.
Hold on a minute, right? Where in your right mind did you think that gap was not going to close all day?
Well, either way, race control are going to have a look at it.
Yeah, there's the initial contact up front, right? Oliver's trying to pull it back onto the racing line, but even I know it's
we'll
going.
leave it.
I know
we'll
it's,
leave it be.
Yeah, I know it's going for the gap, but Greg's put low. I was trying to sound it out quick for you. Might have been easier just speaking it into Siri or Google, mate, and they might have come out with it quick.
Well, that explains it, because I thought it was tonsillitis, and I was just going, oh, yeah, you just drive through tonsillitis. You can't drive through appendicitis.
No, you can drive through.
You absolutely cannot drive through it.
Yeah, you can drive through appendicitis, though. That's fine. Sorry, Greg. Oh, well. There we go. Right, Meyer's out in front. He's being closed up by Dutch here. A second to go. We've got 26 minutes on the clock. And Dutch is closing in on Meyer. You can see Meyer at the bottom of your screen going around the final corner.
I reckon he's going for it.
I reckon Dutchy might have to pit again.
Dutchy will, but I would put money on Rich. As soon as Coleman pit, Rich is just gone, yep, I'm just going to put the anchors on here and save max gas. Have a look where he's losing all the time. Sector 1 and the final sector are the two spots where he's losing all of his time. And those are the longest straights, really.
Well, we'll have a look now as they're going around once more. There is Dutch and Meyer. They have gone through sectors 1 and 2, so that should update very, very shortly. Greg's come back and said, "Hey, if y'all got what I was trying to say, then it counts. It does count, so we'll give you that. Well done to you. I couldn't have spelled it either, Greg, without googling it, mate. So don't you worry too much. You know what I mean? We take the mick, but I couldn't have done it either. Mayor's quicker in 1. So now it's going to be where or not Mayor's going to get it in 2 or 3. Shaw is with Provenzali. Side by side, coming into turn 1 there. I just wanted to watch that as Shaw has gone through on Provenzali. That was a great move there down the straightaway. Is Provenzali going to be looking at coming back at him? That's going to be the question. And can he get through? Certainly not off the side of the circuit, we hope, as they're coming around turn 5, dropping down into 6 and 7. And at the moment is there. What's going on with Dutch and Meyer? I think Shaw's going to break away at the moment. Meyer 1, Dutch is in 2. So a little bit quicker from Dutch by about, Scotty, 400ths of a second, if that.
I reckon he's saving. I'm just looking at the lap time. Last time I was a 59.0. So the paces for their peak times are 57.5, sort of mid 57.5. Now, Richard Mayer did have that fastest lap of the race for a farewell until Stuart Shaw just decided, you know, he had to smash it out of the water and he beat it by 2 He's saving. I reckon he's going for broke, because why not? Race wins on the cards here. If you can just throw a cat amongst the pigeons. I was having a look at points. And by the way, Dutchy, 25th spot in the elite class after round number 1, only finished ahead of 3 drivers that finished. So, you know, a little bit of time to make up there. Dutch but for Richard Mayer, he finished in 17th. Dutchy's in.
Yeah, Mayer's all on his own. Right, 39. Whoa, there was a lot of smoke coming out from around that corner. Is that Grech?
There we go. It was Grech. No, it wasn't Grech.
It was Grech.
Okay.
I've got a funny feeling it is, and that is minimum on the
cold
inside.
tires.
That's going to be contact. Going to be contact. There we go. That'd be another one. Foz has had an incident as well. Let's just come through. Entirely sure what he's been up to. I think he might just be slow going around that airpin. Unfortunately, the timing software does like to register that they've had a crash going on here. No, it's just slow and jump. There we go. But yeah, some great action there. Ricky nearly hit tyre barrier. Shaw spooked him. Yeah, Shaw was coming through at Ricky, and I don't think he was quite expecting Shaw to be as close as he was. Dean Hunt, though, is got Racanello in front of him, Scotty, with Pallet and Jepson battling it out. And then we've got Middleton, Solani and Edwards fighting it out down the back end of the field.
Yeah, Chris Ruddle's just come out of the pit lane as well. They're going to go on through. So for Dean Hunt, I reckon this battle with Racanello is going to go to the flag. And Burgess is only a couple seconds down the road. So that one's still an option. Although I reckon Dean Hunt's had an issue. It'd be cold tyres after coming out of the pits would be the issue. And Richard Mayer's pace is still really, really strong. So he's resurged, and the problem he's got is that, well, I'm so confused by this because his pace is sort of seesawed all night long, JP. That's what's throwing me. If we could sit down and say, yep, he's running half a second slower. Well, Trent Allen's coming to the pit lane. That'll solve that one. Ben Jeffrey kicking on. So it's just, when do you want to come for this final stop now?
Mayer pulled out. Believe it or not, he was nearly 4-5 tenths quicker than Ben Jeffrey. So in the last lap alone. Is he now?
But if you have a look,
is he now turning around? Hold on, Scott. I'm just wondering. Is he now trying to turn around and say, right, now I've got to try and open a gap because I might not make it on my strategy, but now I've got to go for the gap and try and open up the gap so we can get in and out.
But if you hedge your bets, you can't hedge your bets with a fuel save strategy. You've just got to be full on commitment to it. That's the problem, right? If you hedge your bets and you give up time, remember how close Dutch got to him, right? Dutch got right to his gearbox. So the problem for me is if he lets this go and he can't make it, well, he gives up the spot to Dutch. Does he then give up a spot to Ben Jeffrey as well? Jeffrey's 12 seconds in behind him, so I don't think he's going to give up that spot to Ben Jeffrey. Jeffrey's still got a pit.
Yeah, he's still got pit.
Well, Coleman's still 30 seconds in arrears, right? He's got 20 minutes. If he could just keep this thing on track for another 20 minutes without having a pit stop, the race is his. He's got 30 seconds. In his shoes, I'd have already dropped 10 seconds to try and gather back that fuel. I'm comfortable with that. I know that I can run to that.
Do you know why I don't know, right? Because in my previous excursions of trying to figure out what goes on in this series, I have royally failed multiple times, Scotty. So I'm just going to sit here and I think I'm just going to enjoy the racing, because as much as we'd love to think that Maya will go to the end, we know Jeffrey's gone in, we know Coleman has got in, and now him and Dutchie can push along with each other here from the Fart team. So they can push on, right, and try and gain some of that gap down. Shaw's coming as well. He's trying to make a recovery back through. He's only pitted twice, mind you, so we think he's got one more coming. So let's see what Dutch and Coleman could do. As much as we'd love to sit here and think Mayer's going to go out, he's going to go and win it, and he hasn't got to pit again, honestly, I would, as soon as I see Jeffrey go in, if I've still got that 30-second gap, I would be looking to dive in, get some tyres on, not even get tyres on, just get topped up and run. Because
Andrew Dutch has got some serious pace right now, JP2. So that's the thing to consider. Look how close he is to Owen Coleman. That gap, remember when I said at the start of last stint, the gap was 4.5 seconds between him and Richard Mayer, and Mayer wasn't on the back end of Coleman. And Coleman pit from about 1.5 seconds in front. Well, he's tracked him down. My brain says surely Richard Mayer can't go to the end. My brain says, but my heart says, oh boy, I want him to. Oh boy, I want him to.
Do you know what mine's saying right about now? Stop overthinking.
Gee, I'd
James.
love another coffee.
No, I've got one. I've got one sat on the table. It's sitting here saying, James, give up trying to think about it, because you're just going to give yourself a headache. You know what I mean? Look.
Surely.
If he's going to go in, he needs to open up at least 33 to 34 seconds, right? Give or take. In and out, give or take, that's roughly where he needs. He's got currently, back to Coleman, he's only got 31. So he hasn't got enough. So why he is on low, if he's not saving, just absolutely bean it and get as fast time as possible. 59.03 for him last time around. He's just come over the line. We'll wait for Jeffries to come up here and Coleman. Jeffries is on his way over. 59.03 for him. What did Jeffrey do last time out? 58.4. Again, 6/10. What about Coleman as he's going to come over? He needs Coleman. He needs Jeffrey to go in. But this is where Coleman's gap needs to be more. Needs to get more over Coleman at the moment. And as we speak, let's see what Coleman does on the last time out. What has he got on the board? 58.9. So only a tenth quicker than Mayer. But Mayer, if he's even remotely close, as we've seen with Grech, right, previously, go in and top up. Finishing is better than not finishing.
Their lap times are 1.5 seconds off.
Off what?
That's what's confusing me. Off their peak pace.
Yeah,
but
you and I both, come on, Scotty, you and I both know you never run your best laps every single lap. Do you?
But not to 1.5 seconds. Normally it's within 2 or 3 tenths, right? Even heavy fuel is in these cars, it's only 60 litres, right? At this point in time, 60 litres is only going to add 3/4 of a second. It's not going to add 1.5 seconds. And the fact that all of them are running that much slower has got me I'm just boggled. So I reckon...
do you know what? You're making me boggled, because I'm boggled for you, Scotty. I have no idea. Let it play out.
It's too much, yeah.
But let's just enjoy it. Let's see what happens. If Mayer pulls off a master stroke, fair play, good job, you're amazing. And if he's got to go in, he's got to go in. But at the moment, we need to see if Jeffrey's going to go in within the next 4... What's he got? What did I say? 54. He's got about 2 laps under his belt. So it's whether or not Jeffrey's going to go in there as well.
We'll talk about lap times as well. So from here, it's 8. It's 8 to go from here.
Yeah.
Which puts us 60 on the nose.
Rain Campbell's
you know
just
what? I think he can do it. Righto, so the field and the fuel numbers start to cleanse themselves. Final stops coming our way.
I've got a headache.
Drivers that are yet to make their final stop are Aaron Racanello and Dean Hunt inside the top 10. They'll both have to stop as it currently stands. Kadai has already done his final stop. So let's go through the order and sort of give you their position at the moment. We're waiting on a potential final stop. Big question mark over that one from Richard Mayer. Ben Jeffrey will need to stop again. That one is no doubt still yet to come. Owen Coleman and Andrew Dutch have both made their final pit stop. That's all done. That's all resolved. Stuart Shaw will have one more stop left to go. Ricky Provenzali will... Look, he'd have to do a lot more than Richard Mayer would have to do, and so that says to me he's definitely got one more stop left to go. Trent Allen's already out of the way. Ben Woods has already made his final stop. Racanello and Dean Hunt are both still left to stop at the back end of the top 10. Kadai has already made his final stop, so he'll move up a couple spots, as has Mark Foster as well, as continuing to have a reasonable race. I'm not too disappointed. Hunt is in, so that cleanses one more from the running order.
We expected that though, didn't we? That was the thing. The same with Latello. I think Latello's got to be looking at going in again very shortly in that Ferrari. He's got to be looking at taking...
as well.
Yeah, well, he's not. He's going round. So fair play to him if he's managing to make that one work. But I think he's going to be looking at going in. So, yeah. Interesting, Scotty. Interesting. I feel like Sherlock Holmes trying to solve a mystery as Martin Hanlon goes in. Kid goes on. Kid's got one more, we think, to do. It will be whether or not Jeffrey, I should think this lap possibly, should take a go in. Nope. Jeffrey's on his way as well. Can Jeffrey get to the end?
No, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way Ben Jeffrey can do it again because he's 3 laps in arrears of Richard Mayer. You can't make up. Effectively, Richard Mayer's got to make 2 laps up in terms of fuel. For Ben Jeffrey to make it, he'd have to make 5 laps up in terms of fuel. That's just, it's unreasonable. It's not going to happen.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we, within the next few laps or so, what the situation is. Stu Shaw's in. We knew that was coming. We knew he was coming in. Trent Allen's gone through. Provenzali's going to go through. I think Ben Wood also looking like he's going to go through here. It's whether or not Racanello might get through. Then he has just stopped. So sure, don't think should lose a place to Racanello. But then again, he is still stationary right at the front. There is Racanello coming through. Shaw is on his way out, so he should stay where he is. But it's going to be when Jeffrey's going to go in, when Mayer's going to go in, and now we've got this Dutch and Coleman who should be working together to close the time down. Have I lost Scott? Has he done?
No, you haven't. I'm just watching. I'm just thinking. Can you hear the sound of my brain kicking over?
Oh, I can hear a fire engine in the background. Is that because you've got smoke coming out your ears?
Not just smoke. There's fire. I'm overheated.
You're trying to do too much, Scotty. Trying to do too much. Let it play out.
Tracking everything is it's really interesting. I love this.
You're going to end up confusing yourself. You know what I mean? The way I've
already have. It's too late.
Yeah, look, Jeffrey's in. We knew that was coming, right? So it's going to be what Mayer's going to be doing and whether or not he's going to be able to get a 30-second gap, which is what we've roughly said that he'll need. He'll need about 31 to 32, if not maybe even 33 seconds. And at the moment, he's only got 30. He's got 30. So whatever Mayer is going to do, he needs to decide how he's going to do it and whether or not he's going to do it now, or if he's going to get, if he's not going to do it. That's the question. Okay.
I'd just be saving. It frustrates me because I just don't know what's going to happen. And I like knowing. I don't like this. This is really sort of hurting at the moment. I can tell you, Stewie Shaw all the way up to 8th position at this point in time, with at least 1 car ahead of him that's likely to be. I reckon he's going to overcut. No, it will be the undercut from Stuart Shaw. I reckon he's going to get back by Rick Provenzali.
You reckon?
And that will get him close. I reckon he's going to end up quite close to... Trent Allen's now out. Yeah, so... And Ben Jeffrey's made his stop, so... that's probably where he's going to finish, is Stuart Shaw. It's probably 7th, which you'll sit there and you go, yeah, look, that's a race that got away, but at the same time, it's an 8th place on a night where he fell back as deep in the pack as, what, 35th?
Was it 35th?
That's a stonking effort. It was a low 30s.
30
Stonking
seconds,
night.
31 for Maya.
Stop pushing so hard.
But these guys need to work more, work together more. Coleman is the fastest on the last lap alone. Dutch is there as well. Maya's out of 31 seconds up the road. So if Maya is gonna pit, he needs to pit pretty sharpish. There's only been one pit lane time of Ben Jeffrey, which is where we roughly knew the players, right? So Jeffrey's pit lane time was 39 seconds. His stop time was 13. So if we bring that down for Maya, he's on 50. Jeffrey pitted on 54. Maya's now on 56. There's 2 laps. That's going to bring it down to about 32, maybe 31 seconds, which is the gap he's got at the moment. If he can go an extra lap, he should be able to bring it down even further. So that should allow him to come in and out when needed.
Yeah, another battle pack to sort of keep our eyes on, as well as Adam Jepson and Darren Burgess, which is just take our mind off this one just for a little bit, because I think we need to just sort of leave it. You're right, we need to let it play out, but I'm just sort of searching for something else. Jepson's making some time. He took 0.6 of a second out of Darren Burgess on that last lap, and Aaron Jepson will be ruining giant big orange tyre barriers here tonight.
Keep an eye on that time. Keep an eye on the time. It's fluttering between 31 and 32. If he can get it above 32, Maya might be in a good position if he does need to stop. So hold on to your hats at home, guys. Grab your popcorn, get your drinks, and sit back and watch whether or not Maya's pulled a master stroke, or is he pulled a master mistake. Well, let's see what happens as we go into that last 8 minutes here, Scotty.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes here to go as well. Darren Burgess just threw a 58 flat on the table, as did Adam Jepson. So 59 thousandths of a second separated these two drivers on the last circuit around MotorLand Aragón. The fast and flowing hills of Aragon play host to a range of MotoGP action and exciting races that have happened here over the years. Now we get to play amongst the hills on iRacing. One of the newer tracks. One of the tracks I was actually quite excited for too. Portimao, I tell you what, I cannot wait to do some more racing at Portimao.
To be honest, I've not actually been there yet, Scott. Is it any good? I don't even think I own it.
Oh, brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You cannot, there's a bunch of the corners where you just can't see where you're going. You just hope, okay, what am I trying to look for? Your first laps around there are exploratory because you crest a hill and you're like, oh, the road goes this way? But how much? Oh, it's utterly brilliant. I was racing a Formula Ford around there today. That's what I spent most of my day doing.
Oh, I love a good Formula Fords. Looking forward to the Formula Ford League we've got coming up as well.
With rain now.
Yeah, with rain. It's called the Soggy Bottom Series for a reason, Scotty.
Nothing like sitting in a tub full of water.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, all manner of rain across all 3 content of iRacing. So there we go.
Well, the best part now is you can actually have canoe races if you knock all 4 tyres off it in the rain.
Oh, mate, I will say I did a test at VIR on one of the settings we were going to be used. Blimey, I needed oars, not brakes. I'll tell you that much.
Surprising, isn't it? Just how little you can touch it.
And get off the grass. Even getting off the grass challenging, because you can't get off it because you just bog in it. I had to like reverse halfway down the hill and then go forward and then reverse. I looked like an old lady trying to do a 3-point turn. I was just backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Eventually I made it off, but blimey, it was horrendous.
Oh, this battle's getting even better as through turn 1. Mistake from Darren Burgess means that Adam Jepson is right on his tail right now. And there he is, just over 6 minutes left. So this is for all the marbles, boys.
This is for 9th and 10th I think we're gonna get class, this is.
60 laps on the table. If it's 60 laps, oh.
Stop it.
There's one man. There's one man that's in charge of that.
You give yourself a headache. You give yourself a headache. I'll tell you that much. You don't want to have to be popping ibuprofen after this, dear sir. He's dropped off, though. His pace has come down 2 seconds from what it was. So maybe he's getting to the point now where he's sitting there thinking, right, okay, if I drop back here, I'm going to have 2 laps to go. If I keep pushing on my 159s earlies, I'm going to be, yeah, you can see it, the 58.12 for the boys behind Coleman. The Dutch, give or take, 59.16, so 1.1 seconds slower is Mayer this time around.
Oh, it's nail biting. I mean, it's absolutely nothing's going on out on track, but it's, to me, I'm biting my nails. I love these. They're so difficult to enjoy, and that's the power of it, isn't it? You know, you just sort of got to have your head. Where's the strategy? Where are all the moving bits and pieces? Where's everyone trying to play themselves into things?
Where is Stu Shaw going to come out in conjunction to Ricky Provenzali? Well, Provenzali's there. Shaw's gone through, so that puts Provenzali down in 8th. Where is he going to be in conjunction? Oh, he's going to be safe from Kadai, but Provenzali's gone in, got his 3rd stop, comes out in 8th. He's the only man in the whole entire race. No, he's not, sorry, with Alfonso Latella, who has not gained or lost any positions. They're in exactly the same place where they was when they started.
So 2 of them. That's an interesting stat to come away from Aragon with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't gone anywhere. Started in 8th, finished in 8th, and Latella started in 16th, finishing in 16th. Hopefully. Touchwood, we ain't got quite to the end yet. But Jepson.
That raises an interesting point. Even if Darren Burgess loses a spot right here and falls back to 12th spot for Jepson, you know, plus 11's not a bad day at the office. You take those. Difficult race. Interesting momentum, plus 17. Oh, big wiggle on the curb.
Yeah. Burgess got it wrong.
Going to be down the inside for Adam Jepson. He's going to pinch him too, not give him a whole heap of space. They're still going to go side by side. The run down to turn number 7. He will be on the inside now, though, for Darren Burgess to the outside. Jepson tries to get the power down. If he can hang high, wide, and handsome around here, if he can hang high, wide, and handsome around this corner, he gets the inside of the next one. Contact made. Burgess skips across the curb. It's not done yet. To the inside of the hairpin. There's a car off in the weeds up ahead. It's Chris Ruddle, who's clouted the tyre barriers as he tries to rejoin and keep the car going, and now they'll get locked together. Little bit of a tangle. They both managed to get out the other side. JP, what am I watching? It's insane.
Half a lap of racing, that's what you've just watched, and you've also just missed Chris Ruddle go into the tyre barrier. I'm trying to see if I can find it just quickly why these guys settle back down, but here is Ruddle going into the barrier here as well, coming out at 9. He's going to clout it on his back end, and he's going to go directly to the right hand side. Tries to avoid it, doesn't. There we go, and round he goes. And I believe that may have been McMinimum behind him, or somebody in the, was that Benjamin? Oh, it was Benjamin Brook in the Mercedes behind him there. So Meyer getting closer and closer to the determination of victory. However, he has dropped off chunks because it's now down to 5 seconds. He has lost an absolute shed load of time.
He's pit.
Yep.
He's been into the lane. He's into the lane and out.
Yep, pit lane time, 5.2 seconds. Told you he'd have enough.
Well, he didn't have enough. But he had enough
No,
gap.
he had
You're
enough.
right.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's what I meant. I know, check me out. I don't hear them words very often. Thank you very much. Yeah, he had enough to come into the lane, get pitted and get back out. 5 seconds, there they are behind them. 2 minutes to go.
There's one lap left to run,
yeah. Final lap this time around.
Yeah.
A fair play to him.
Oh, I'm disappointed he didn't try and squeak the extra lap in. I enjoy those.
Oh, no, remember
when someone makes it work.
You've got to do what you've got to do, and you've got to do it safely. You know, and if that means that you've got to make sure you've got points on the board because you've gone into the pits, and you don't want to finish 5 foot from the line from like Grech did. Sorry.
Something's happened to Ben Woods on this last lap too, because he's dropped a spot in behind Stu Shaw, and he's only just ahead of Ricky Provenzali. Yeah, something's happened. Either way, I think that white flag was waving.
Yeah, it
that
was.
time by for Richard. Yeah, so there will only be one more lap left to run. And he did the fuel master stroke. He saved enough to keep himself ahead, but enough to maintain the pace, and he's popped out with the lead.
Yeah, he got the gap he needed. 30 seconds, we said. He got roughly around about that and decided to dive in and out there as well. Woodsy's off. Shaw's up another one. Ben Wood. What did he do, my dear sir? I think it could be.
It's going to be a turtle, I think. No?
No, it's not. It doesn't say that he's done it. And I can't see where Shaw is... Unfortunately, when they go around the final corner, it seems to perceive that everybody's crashed, and all of a sudden I've got 15 incidents come through of everybody's crashing on the last corner.
Was in the first sector.
There
it was
it is.
at
Sorry, I got it.
It was turn 5.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's Shaw. Where's Woods? Oh, that would be where Woods is, as he spun round that.
Yep.
All on his own, gone in a little bit hot. Porsche doing Porsche things, and around he goes. Good job I've got no Pete Baxter to wave an English flag outside of his workplace.
Well, the final couple corners now for Richard Mayer. It was a night at the office where he just had to remain inside of Owen Coleman. He pushed on early, got to the rear bumper, and then set about his fuel-saving ways. And I tell you what, 5 seconds up the road is what it's going to end up being. He wasn't the fastest man at every stage of the night, but you don't need to be the fastest man to win sometimes. Sometimes it's about leaving gas in the tank. Sometimes it's about not spending every dollar on fuel. And if there is a man who's saved some dollars tonight, it's Richard Mayer.
Yeah, great job from him. Coleman comes over in second. Dutchy's in third. Jeffrey's going to get fourth. What's going on with Burgess and Jepson? Well, they're still going at it. Coming round that turn 9-10. So let's hope all of them avoid that barrier, please. And we've also got Racanello just catching up to the back as well. So this is going to be an interesting couple of corners for these guys.
Yeah, well, it's the last opportunity, last lap, as they make their way through the cutaway. Back to the right. It'll be straighten it up as best you can. Get the good drive. He's just a touch too far back as Adam Jepson. Don't think he's quite close enough, but he got good drive there through the middle section. Now it's going to be Burgess who weaves to the left-hand side of the road. Tries to break the toe. There's 3 of them all in the slipstream mode. He's going to park it down the middle of the road. I tell you what, I don't think he's got another defensive move left, and race control will be aware of that. They'll be watching that one quite heavily. Deep. It's going to take a big braking opportunity from Jepson. Didn't quite get there. And Racanello, he's going to bounce over the turtles as well, which may still leave an opportunity. No, it's going to close it off. It'll be Burgess home in 12th, Burgess in 11th, Jepson in 12th, Racanello in 13th.
As they come
and in terms of the Challenger results, it'll be Kadai from Foster, from Dean Hunt. Yeah.
Hunt gets it, so fair play to them. We're just waiting for Hunt to come over the line. There he is, just coming over the line now. Great job from Dean Hunt. And then we've got Latella and Grech. They're the last ones to come over the line once more. So, yeah, great racing. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, reasonable. I thought we were going to get some weather there.
No,
but anyway.
It's got lots of smoke by the 47 machine doing donuts. So, fair play. That's Dean Hunt, who's decided to do donuts for finishing on the podium in the end. Or the Challenger class.
I tell you what, I'm really, really happy with that because I was doing some race control on Wednesday night with Dean Hunt, and the other guy that was sitting in that race control booth was Richard Mayer. So, hey, come and do some race control with me. It turns out it's good for your sim racing prospects.
Apparently so. But there you go. The results are on your screen, Sky.
Well, the Game of Gear Direct 2 hours of Aragon is going to land in our laps, and it's Richard Mayer who is the man on top from Owen Coleman. Andrew Dutch brings it home in third to make it a 2 on the podium for fairly average racing team. Bluebell Racing for Ben Jeffrey gets home in fourth. Trent Allen home in fifth. Stuart Shaw, recovery drive all the way back to sixth. Will be a reasonable night at the office given where he could have been. Rick Provenzali home in 8th. So Ben Woods have just skipped over him in 7th. And then it's the Challenger contenders that make their way to the top 10, and they'll both be happy about that. Brock Kadai from Mark Foster in the Challenger class before we get back to Burgess, Jepson, Racanello and Pellet inside the top 14. Dean Hunt finishes 3rd in the Challenger class and 15th overall. Alfonso Latella, Adrian Grech all the way down to 17, JP.
Yeah, doing a great job there. Matt Kidd coming over in 18th, Martin Hanlon 19th, them at minimum in 20th, Tucker 21st, Campbell 22nd, Gerard 23rd, Benici 24th, Middleton 25th. Then we've got Rob Edwards, Benjamin Brook behind that one. So that takes us down to the... No, it doesn't. Where are they all gone? Hold on. The system wants to have a little bit of a moment all on his own. Behind that, we got Solani, Proctor, and then Mellis and Ruddle and Bottrell, who were 3 and 5. And then we've got the people that are out, Donaldson, Oliver, Herberger, McClyman, and Rukoistra, who never took to the start. So a great job from all of them guys, and well done. A battle of fruition, really. It was whoever's going to finish, wasn't it? Who's likely to finish was going to make sure that they they took some form of wins, right, and points, and some of these guys did, some of these guys didn't.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, you know, keep yourself running, keep yourself clean, keep yourself in the offing, and sometimes it's you know, just one of those days where you just got to push as hard as you possibly can. Really, really interesting to note the way that Richard Mayer won that race. Fuel saved, a treat, really gave himself the opportunity, and I think we're going to get the opportunity to speak to him in just a few moments as well. So, in terms of things, where are they? Are they all hanging around for us yet, JP?
Yeah, GT4 green room. There's no green room on the GT3s.
We'll get them.
Yeah, go get him.
We'll start from the bottom end. I tell you what, at the podium for the GT3 guys, we're going to be speaking to the first of the fart drivers, albeit the one that's definitely the more funny one is Dutchy, mate. Dutchy, please don't make me end this interview in stitches this week.
I'll try not to, mate. Yeah, I'll try my best not to.
Interesting race there. A lot of pace for you at the tail end. As that track temperature started to come down, it looked like you were quite good. Was the Audi just good in cold tyres, and that's sort of where you made most of the margin up?
To be honest, I just gel with Aragon. Like, I really like Aragon as a track. So, like, I know I've got pace around here, but I didn't expect to be where I was, to be honest. So I was just putting in laps, not giving a crap about saving fuel, just going for it.
Yeah, well, the other drivers around you were certainly playing the fuel games. Where did that factor in? I mean, you had a short-ish pit stop compared to your teammate at the back end of that race, but you just weren't interested. It just look, I'm just going to go as hard as I can was the only thoughts going through your head.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. It actually overfueled me by, I think, about 2 or 3 laps. So, look, with that last pit stop, I probably could have got in front of Owen, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Mate, in terms of things, a lot of pace there at the tail end. Like you said, you know, how are you feeling now? It's a good response considering where you were after round number 1. You were deep in the points, really nowhere to go, and now you've put a 3rd place on the books. That certainly puts you in much better stead for the season as it heads on.
Yeah, look, mate, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said at the start, I think I qualified 7th or 8th, so I wasn't, you know, too confident that I was going to be top 3, but you know, when I was sitting on before the formation lap, sitting on the grid, my crew chief actually told me we should be fighting for a podium. I'm like, oh well, I might get sacked here, so you know, I better pull my finger out.
Sometimes it's that sort of motivation that you need, though.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, mate, and you know, yeah, it was just good feeling to be back on the podium, especially with GT3s.
Mate, in terms of things, next round we're going to be heading off to Zolder. It's tricky around Zolder. It's about managing or bouncing over your curbs and getting through the chicanes. Has there been any sort of thoughts in terms of the setup and getting the car ready for that one as we currently stand, or it's not really climbed into your mind as of yet?
It hasn't really climbed into my mind, just for the fact that I might not be racing that round yet. So I'll just play that one as it comes, really. And, you know, I love Zolder as well, so... you know, if I race it, I'll race it. If I don't, I don't.
Mate, in terms of things, I'll leave the floor to you to thank the sponsors that make it possible for the Fart team. Or is there anyone else you'd like to thank as well?
Well, thanks for Owen for growing another finger and actually being able to count fuel this time. It was good to see him get a second. Yeah, just thanks to the Fart boys, mate. We all talk crap in the group, so it's a good bunch of boys to be a part of. So, yeah, good to get a 2nd and 3rd for Fart Racing.
Mate, most importantly, what banter have you got to give us our way? What was Owen Coleman complaining about tonight?
Actually, nothing. Like, believe it or not, like, pigs do fly. Pigs do fly. You know, there was not one complaint, mate. So it was an actual pleasure. Like, my ears aren't bleeding.
I don't believe that. You know, I think you're right. Pigs do fly, mate. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of the night, and congratulations on the podium, Dutchy.
Thanks, boys.
JP, I think we'll leave you to talk to the man he was just talking to, and Captain Grumpy himself, it's Owen Coleman who finishes P2.
Surely he wasn't grumpy. Owen, was you grumpy?
No, I was just plodding along. I was struggling a bit with the front, so.
How do you think Dutch would have cleared you, or was there sort of you sitting back going, let's just try and push forward and close that gap to Mayer? Because it was going to be close if Mayer had to go in, and he did have to go in towards the end, but he still managed to get out 5 seconds in front.
Yeah, I told him, look, if I'm holding you up, just let me know. But he said, I'll let you make that choice. So yeah, we sort of just plodded along. I think we both sort of got stuffed over a bit by the refueling. Like, we finished the race with still an extra 2 laps of fuel. So yeah, that sort of done us in, I think. But no, well done to old Richo.
Yeah, definitely, it was a good job there. Going forward, where do you see yourself now? You've had a bit of a championship lead coming in. Do you think you're on the course for winning the championship overall?
Probably still a bit early to think about that. I'm just sort of trying to focus on consistent results. So I think this track was probably the most buggy one for me. So yeah, it was good to sort of leave this one with a good result.
Well, going forward though, so we'll go on to Zolder for the next round. What's your chances? Do you like Zolder? What do you think is going to happen there?
I don't mind it. Like, I probably have done more laps around there than I have here, so yeah, we'll sort of just see how we go, I suppose.
Fair one, mate, there as well. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go here?
Obviously, you guys in the control room, Game of Gear Direct, everyone at the Premier Endurance League, Motorsport Hauler, John Scott Motors, Fred Peanut Kids Boutique, Grindtech Flooring, Gecko, Colourful Learning, and everyone that makes it all possible.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us there, bud, and look forward to seeing what you can do next time out.
All right, you guys have a good night. Catch it.
All right, Scotty, who do you want to have a word with next? I can't move him.
It's Richard Mayer, who's, ladies and gentlemen, time to talk to tonight's race winner. Not 100% sure he thought he'd be sitting here at the end of the race, but Richard, fuel worked 100% in your favour here tonight. You were playing that game from lap number 1. How short were you on being able to make it to the end?
Scotty, JP, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, look, I'll tell you what, I certainly didn't expect it, because there's a few boys that were pretty fast over the 1 lap sprint in practice and qualifying, but I just thought I'll just try and play the long game, and it worked out well for me in the end.
How early on did you sort of commit to going to that strategy? Was there ever a thought that I might be able to completely remove a pit stop here? Because we were talking about it, you had sort of 31 seconds at the tail end of that race before you did actually come down the lane for that final stop. Right. Was there ever a thought of, do I just run this to the flag? I've got 30 seconds to play with here. I can do a lot with that.
Yep. Look, I think as soon as it was about lap 3 or 4, I think that that Stewie Shaw and Dez, I think, came together. I think it was those two. And then Owen and I kind of managed to gap the field just a little bit. And I was following him, lifting and coasting a bit, keeping up with him. And as soon as I sort of got into a bit of a rhythm after a couple of laps, I thought, well, here we are, we might as well have a dig. So managed to stretch it a couple extra laps. And the overlap with the pit stops meant that it's so funny. I didn't even need to pit in the end. I could have backed off and just driven the last, say, 5 laps a couple of seconds slower, and the lap number based on the timing would have been the same. But because I pitted, I actually put more fuel in than I needed anyway, because I assumed that it was going to be 61 instead of 60 laps. So it was a bit of a head case at the end, me confusing myself. But it worked out in the end, and I'm glad I'm here.
Mate, in terms of things, we just spoke to the other guys as well. They were all sort of, I think the discussion was around, they both sort of said, yeah, we added 2 extra laps of fuel. Well, we now know where one of those laps went, was that everyone was working to 61, being that race number, and we trimmed that lap back. But look, I mean, you had pace early on. The car felt good. I mean, was there a lot of work that went into the setup? Like I said, I said to all the fans, we were doing some race control work on Wednesday night. So I know your time around the sim is a little bit limited, running your own series and bits and pieces as well. How much time was actually spent on getting this running?
Yeah, look, I don't get as much time to drive as I would like, in between suit speed and the work we're doing with the gloves and then running the sports car series. So Chris and I have been jumping in together in the Porsche and just doing a few laps here and there and trying to get in the hosted sessions that the boys have been hosting. But this was a VRS IMSA setup with a little bit of I think I softened it off a little bit and made a couple of tweaks to the toe. And that was about it, really. It felt pretty good. I was just trying to hit my marks every lap and be consistent, and yeah, it paid off. So thanks VRS, I suppose, for having a file in there that I just grabbed and seemed to work.
Well, I mean, you know, it's not all that way. You didn't just grab this up straight out of the box, and you know there was some tweaking that went on there. What was the thought process? I mean, there was a lot of debate this week about would rain show up in the end. There was a lot of thinking going on. I know we talked to Jimmy Middleton at one stage, and he was sort of saying, you know, I was praying for rain. Rain was sort of right there in my thought process. Was there a little bit of preparation work, that side of things?
Yeah, there was a couple, obviously, you know, yourself, I think there was a hosted session. There was a handful of hosted sessions that we jumped into with a little bit of moisture. I think it rained a little bit and then it backed off on a couple of them, and we were able to practice, you know, the transition a little bit. But I felt pretty confident if it was going to rain that I was going to be okay. Because, again, I try to always set up a car to be pretty neutral and pretty smooth. And I think that works quite well in the rain. So that wouldn't have been too much of an issue. It would have been I think a bit of a learning experience for everyone, if anything, because none of us have really done a lot of rain running. I don't think, certainly not in 2-hour enduros like this anyway.
It's going to be a unique challenge. Next time out, we're going to be heading to Zolder. Zolder's got the potential for some rain to sort of be in the air and change things. Curbs there's a lot of curbing that you're sort of on, a lot of painted lines. That's if we do get a few drops of moisture, that is going to be a difficult track to navigate. Have you got the time to sort of put the prep work in for that one?
Should do. We've got a couple of bits and pieces happening over the next couple of weeks, but I think we should have an opportunity to jump in. I mean, certainly, you know, having gotten a good result today, it sort of encourages me to maybe put a little bit more work in for the rest of the season. Sometimes these long races, they can be a bit hit and miss, as you guys would be commentating on, with some of the fast guys having dramas early on and all that sort of stuff. But I do like Zolder. I like it in touring cars. I haven't really done too much of it in GT cars, so I'll need to do a bit of practice. But, you know, we're all in the same boat. As soon as it decides to bucket down, everyone, you know, is going to be in the same boat. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, mate. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for the chat, and the floor is all yours to thank the sponsors that make it possible for you, mate.
There's only one sponsor on our car. Well, there's 1.5 really. You know, SuitSpeed is kind of, you know, for those of you who don't know out there in internet land, you know, Chris Ruddle and I started SuitSpeed. We make gloves. We, you know, aim the product at the Australian and New Zealand market. Quite well priced, and, you know, we think they're pretty bloody good gloves. So, you know, all I'll do is just say, if everybody's looking for gloves, just jump on and have a bit of a look at suitspeed.com. Support a local Australian, New Zealand business if you are looking for some gloves. And yeah, just thanks to the boys, Rick and Jimmy, for organising the event and putting on a good event, and you boys for doing the production. It's a great series and a great community to be part of. I'm just stoked to get a win, because it's been a long time coming. We've been doing this for a while, and I've had a few fuel dramas in the past, but not today, so I'm pretty pleased.
More importantly, for the fans that are watching along at home, buying a set of gloves definitely increases your lap time by about a second, right?
We can guarantee a couple of tenths. That's about it. The rest of it's up to you.
Thanks very much for your time. Thanks for a little bit of a laugh, Rich. Pleasure chatting to you as usual, mate.
Good on you, boys. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks. JP, do we got a bit of time to talk to perhaps our amateur class winner?
Yeah,
you want to have a quick chat to Brock?
Yeah, bring in Brock, and we can have a chat with him here as well. Brock, welcome into the booth. You are the Challenger class winner for today, there, buddy. How does it feel?
That is hi. First thing.
Oh, hi,
awesome
mate. How are you?
Good. No, that's great. Honestly, I came in here wanting to get top 3 in class and a top 15 overall, and to get a top 10 overall and win in my second round in PEL is a really, really cool feeling, particularly at such a complicated track like Aragon.
It is a complicated track. How was it out there on the racetrack racing with all of these guys? You know, because you had a lot of guys around you, seasoned veterans in Mark Foster. You know, you had obviously Ricky Provenzali around you, Burgess, Jepson, Racconello, all scrapping it out around you. How did you keep your cool and think, I can do this now?
Well, look, I was honestly running scared from Mark. He was speedy last round in Mugello, so my main aim, once I saw him in my rear view, was keep him there. and we were going back and forth lap after lap, identical lap times, and I was just watching my race labs relative going, come on. And with Ricky, that was a great battle. I love that. He was really respectful, great racing, and I'm going to go message him after this because that was cool. That was really fun and nice to know that despite being in Challenger, I've got what it takes to kind of get up there with the big dogs and give them a little bit of a scare.
Yeah, why not? At the end of the day, if you're on there and you're putting the times in, make sure you don't go too fast, though, mate. You don't want to be promoted early, do you?
No, look, I'll happily stay in Challenger until the end of this season, but I don't think I'm going to have any excuses for next season if I keep going the way I'm going, unfortunately.
Yeah, and especially if you keep going out and beating the guys around you. Obviously, Nick Bottrell, you beat today, Adam Holland, Isaac Norman. You know, that should put you in and around the top of the standings, if not the lead coming in. Going into Zolder, though, what do we think Zolder's going to bring for you?
Look, Zolder has never been a track I've been particularly great at in the past. I haven't raced there a lot, so there'll be a lot of practice going on, and I'm just hoping to keep that same mentality, that top 3 in class, top 15 overall, and you know that with consistency, I'm hoping the results will come, and I can sort of walk through this first half of the season and really be in a strong position for the second half.
Well, yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day, is keeping it on there as well. Well, Brock, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, so big shout out to my team, TriStar Racing, and the team boss, Brant Tucker. You know, he's given me a lot of support over the years, and I really appreciate he's given me the go with TriStar. And Venture IP Australia as well, our sponsor. They've come on board and they've done great things for us, helping us out. So thank you to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely stellar job. Well, Brock, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. We look forward to seeing how you get on as the season goes on.
Thanks, gents. Catch you soon.
Take care, man. Well, there you go.
Well, JP, that is just about going to wrap it up here from the Gamer Gear Direct GT3 2 hours of Aragon. And it's been an awesome night in terms of things, but I tell you what, in terms of the next racing action, we're going to be coming to you live from Zolder on the 31st of March when the GT4s get back underway. And 2 weeks, actually it's the very next week after that one, will be the 7th of April when we will be back underway as well with the GT3 action. Zolder's tight, tricky, there's lots of curbs to bounce over, easy to get a slowdown there, very difficult to go racing, very narrow racetrack that Zolder, isn't it as well, JP?
Yeah, lots of dodgy chicanes to get a nice little bit of slowdowns on. So, yeah, they're going to have to be extra careful, to be fair, because otherwise there's going to be problems.
Well, we also want to say a big thank you, like I said, to our sponsors, Gamer Gear Direct, Simulation Superstore. If you're looking to get a simulation product running, whether that be flight sims, golf sims, racing sims, they can look after you. Get in contact with Blake and the team from Gamer Gear Direct. We also want to say a big shout out to Print Racer as well, who've also come on board as a sponsor this year, doing phenomenal jobs in terms of keeping you going in your 3D printed what do they call them, accessories to assist. I know they do pedal plate expansions, help you reach the pedals and get the pedal plate and pedal feel that you're looking for. Get in contact with Simon Lara from Print Racer today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been your 2 hours of Aragon. It's been an awesome race. Maybe next time out there might be a few spats of rain on the windscreen. You'll have to tune in to the next round of the Premier Endurance League on the 31st of March for your GT4s and the 7th of April for your GT3s. Could that be the first time the splash of rain hits the windscreen and spray fills the air? Find out then. We'll see you then, ladies and gents. Have a lovely night.